long winters steeped in curling history. The most heralded rink of them all, Sandra Schmirler. In 1993, she opened one of the most prolific chapters in women's curling. 3 times the Schmirler team would become Canadian champions. 3 times they would win the world, a feat unprecedented in the women's game. Last November in Brandon, Sandra Schmirler made one of the most spectacular shots in curling. An angle takeout that set her and her teammates on course for the Olympic Winter Games in Nagano. And ultimately, the greatest victory of them all. The first ever Olympic gold medals awarded in the sport of curling. To this team of togetherness in a sport marked by constant upheaval and changing teammates, to them go the spoils. And so it was a heartfelt homecoming here in Regina for this most decorated rink. But it was not to be for Team Canada. The emotional and physical demands of Japan took their toll. In the semifinal, the champions succumbing to Ontario's Anne Merklinger. In one sense, relief and a dignified exit for the Olympic champions.
Well, I'm looking forward to not playing tomorrow, definitely, and not having that sick feeling in my stomach at this moment. You know, before this game and these types of games, you just feel sick, and I'm just really glad I don't have to feel that again for this year. We went through a whole week of that in Nagano and a whole week of that in Brandon, and it was just, it's hard on you. And it's kind of nice that we get a bit of a break tomorrow.
For the Anne Merklinger rink of Ontario, this is a breakthrough.
Yep.
Making their 3rd appearance in the Scott, and finally, a berth in the final. This shot for 3 in the 6th end of the semifinal signaled a changing of the guard in women's curling. Merklinger upsetting Sandra Schmirler, and finally a chance at the championship.
This team's believed in itself for several years and knew that if we could acquire a little more experience and continue to work as hard as we've been working, that we had the potential to be there. But there's so many great teams in Canada. I mean, to finally get to the final is wonderful.
Alberta skip Cathy Borst has been here 3 times too, and she's been close before, beating the Schmirler rink in the semifinals of '95. This year, they've been the class of the field and brimming with confidence. Just 1 loss all the way to the final, and undefeated against Ontario. But Borst barely beat Merklinger in the playoffs, winning on Merklinger's misfortune, a missed last rock in an extra end. That's close. How closely matched they'll be today in the final of the Scott.
Teams worked very hard for the last couple of years, and we've put a lot of time and effort into it, and you know, time away from our families, and it's a goal we've been dreaming of for a long time, and I'm hoping that we can play well and play like we can.
Borst with a chance to be the best as the Scott prepares to name a new champion. Championship curling on CBC. From the Saskatchewan capital of Regina, it's the final of the Scott Tournament of Hearts. Today, the Cathy Borst rink of Alberta meets Anne Merklinger and her team from Ontario. We're live inside the Agridome here in Regina for the conclusion of the best attended Scott in the history of the event. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Championship Curling here on CBC. Well, today they will indeed declare a new winner of the Scott. The reign of 3-time champion Sandra Schmirler is over, ending yesterday against Ontario in the semifinals. So that means today it will indeed be 3 times lucky for either Anne Merklinger or Cathy Borst. Each rink has been here 3 times before, as we mentioned in the opening, and now both want a shot to become a champion for the first time. For their thoughts on this exciting matchup here today in Regina, let's go to the broadcast booth and welcome Don Whitman and Don Dugan.
Thank you, Mark. Hi, everybody. I'm sure that many people in this capacity crowd, Don, had purchased tickets in anticipation of cheering for the hometown hero, Sandra Schmirler, in this championship game. But she ran afoul of Merklinger yesterday, so let's talk about the two teams that are here, Merklinger and Cathy Borst. They were the top teams during round-robin play.
Well, I think if you look at the teams, Cathy Borst really had a good series, Don. She only lost one game in the round-robin, played solid. She beat Merklinger once in the round robin, once in the playoff. Could she do it a third time? That is a difficult thing in curling, to beat a good team like Merklinger 3 times in a row.
Well, as Mark mentioned, will this be third time lucky for Merklinger and Borst? What type of game do you anticipate?
Well, I think the way Merklinger played yesterday against Team Canada, she was very solid, very aggressive, played a lot of corner guards, went around center guards, gambled throughout the whole game, and that really put a lot of pressure on Sandra. So she won that game, and I think that'll continue today.
These teams have met 3 times this year. Merklinger won in the Olympic trials in Brandon, but Borst won both the round-robin game and the playoff game here. Merklinger and Borst in this championship game, Mark.
Well, Don joining us today is our game day analyst, the Olympic champion herself, Sandra Schmirler. And I know all of your fans here in Regina would dearly love to see you on the ice today, but we're real happy to have you on the broadcast.
Well, I think I would rather be playing on the ice today, Mark, but I know there's one thing I don't miss, and that's that gut-wrenching feeling that these players are going through right now.
Well, I'm getting that myself here today. Listen, let's talk about the matchup. What do you like about the Borst-Merklinger final?
Well, I think the key spot is going to be at the skip position. They played each other in the 1-2, and neither skip played great, so I think that's the matchup you have to watch for today.
All right, we'll look at the skips, and we'll look forward to your analysis throughout today's final. Thanks, Sandra. Here are the rules of engagement for today's final. We're back in Canada, so that means we're back under the free-rock, free-guard zone. And, of course, each team will be allowed 73 minutes on the time clocks you'll see on our screens today, and 2 timeouts per rink. Well, the pregame festivities are just about ready to come to a close, and we're just about ready for the first rock here today. So let's go back up to the booth and join Don and Don.
Well, Mark, when you talk about Borst and Merklinger and look at their competitive background, Merklinger disposed of Sandra Schmirler in yesterday's semifinal and in 1995 in Calgary. Cathy Borst beat Sandra Schmirler to advance to the final. So both these teams have posted semifinal wins over the 3-time Canadian and world champion and the reigning Olympic champion. So they certainly have the credentials to meet in this 1998 championship here in Regina.
Well, the thing I like about Cathy Borst, Don, is the fact that she didn't curl very well in that first 1-2 playoff game. She curled 56%. She got a few breaks. She was drawing for 3, ended up only getting 1. One of her rocks in the extra end picked up a hair. She got out of that end and managed to win. So the curling gods, like I said, are kind of on her side. So you got to like that when you don't curl very well and you win.
Show no fear. Show no fear.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do now?
The card is with us.
Yeah.
Silver
Honey, you got
sucks.
something there. Yeah, one.
Well, I think both sides, as we listen to the pregame comments, are pumped and ready. Jim Waite is the coach of the Ontario team. You caught a glimpse of him. There he is. He was the coach for Team Canada in the Olympic Games. He was the boss man for Mike Harris. They came home with the silver medal, of course. And Lindsay Sparks was one of the coaches, along with Anita Ford for the women's team. And Sandra Schmirler and company came back home with the gold medal. But here we're concentrating on the 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts championship game. 2 fine representatives from Alberta and Ontario battling it out. Alberta 4 times claiming the Scott Tournament of Hearts, or the Canadian Championship. Actually, it was won 4 times by Alberta prior to Scott taking over as sponsor in 1982. Ontario has won the event 5 times, one of those occasions when Heather Houston was representing Team Canada. And it was Heather Houston that Merklinger beat this year in the Ontario playdowns that took place in Kenora. Last rock on this opening end belongs to Alberta's Cathy Borst as the result of the best record during round-robin play, a 10-1 mark.
Don, the ice is very keen, very fast, about 24 seconds. Will curl both ways, from the inside out and from the outside in. So we should see a lot of rocks in play.
Line's good. Really tight.
Halfway.
Quick. Really tight. Right here, guys.
Pretty good, eh?
The opening delivery from Ontario lead Audrey Frey.
Tight.
Nice rock, Audie. That'll go.
Audrey and her teammate Teresa Breen, to get in shape for curling, took up boxing this past year.
I'm not going to touch that. That's interesting.
So be careful of what you say, because
Absolutely.
they might come up here with the gloves on.
Yeah, nice. Right up. 12. 3 for 9.
The line.
3. Right beside
Hurry
it.
for line.
12.
For line.
Whoa, whoa. Not in.
Bounce it.
Not in. Whoa. Great shot.
Kate Horn nudges the yellow rock just shy of the rings. Her shooter just rolls to the top of the 12.
Control.
Now that rock thrown by Ontario was in the free guard zone, but you notice Kate Horn came down, touched it, didn't remove it from official play. It's in the ring, so that you can do that. But if she put it out of play, it would come back up.
No.
Frey is going to catch a corner of that red rock, and the shooter will remain in play. Now, 3 rocks have been played, and if you were with us during the Olympic Games, it was the 4 rock rule. Here it's the 3 rock free guard zone. And as Sandra Schmirler told us a number of times during the Olympics, and I'm sure she would agree this afternoon, the 3 rock rule is a little more manageable.
Control. Yep. Control. Hard.
Control still. Roll it, Heather. Roll. Don't roll it. No roll. No roll.
Oh.
No roll.
Sit. Sit. Okay, good try, Kate.
Kate Horn gets the roll. The rock remains in play, but outside the rings.
6. 6. Good lead. Okay.
Now you'll see Ann Merklinger holding the brush just on the edge of the forefoot.
Really tight.
Nibbly.
Whoa, right off. Really tight,
Patty
guys.
McKnight hits that
Where are
broom. That
ya?
rock should
Nibbly.
end up
Whoa,
maybe
not
on
in.
the center line or just slightly off it. So
Not
that
in.
gives you an
Whoa.
idea of how much the rock is going to curl in there.
Whoa, whoa, that's good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice shot, Patty.
This way.
Patty McKnight, nicknamed PJ by her teammates, the Ontario second. Brenda Bomer, who claims Banff, Alberta as a hometown, and she said, I think everybody might be watching this afternoon back in Banff. They have a 3-sheet curling club there, and that's where she learned the game.
Okay. That's great.
An opportunity now for McKnight to get in behind the red stone, sitting just off the center line.
Well, we said at the top of the show that Ann Merklinger will gamble when she has last rock and when she doesn't have last rock. That, she's going right around the very first end.
Where are ya?
T. Back 4.
Oh.
You hear the front end yelling T back forward. Good communication on this Ontario team
Gotta finish a bit.
between Skip
Whoa, yep.
and the brushers.
Yep. Right up. Okay.
Rock never moved as much as they thought it would. It stayed a little bit straighter. Beautiful weight right on top of the forefoot.
That spot has been quite tricky all week, Don, with not coming across the center line consistently. It's been a tricky little spot, and you have to really play it tight to the guard to get it buried.
How about the rocks during the competition, Sandra? Were they all pretty even, or was there some cutters? Or
I would say definitely there were some rocks that moved more than others. If you watched the game last night against our team and Ann's, she had 2 rocks that moved really nice in, and it cost us big because our rocks didn't. So there are some rocks that move more, and I imagine Ann has 2 of them that she's playing with today.
I wonder if Ann had a bit of a competitive edge in that her brother Dave is the ice maker.
I don't know about that. Have to talk to Dave.
Forward. Clean. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Good roll by Breen, and she's going to wind up behind cover.
Well, let me tell you, good brushing held that rock straight, because we're right behind the sheet, and she was half on the rock when she let it go, and it stayed right there for her. Good brushing by the front end.
These hits all week going to the wings definitely didn't move very much, so it'll be important that that they don't flip them out, so that they'll slide right by or hit and roll out. This is important, just to throw quiet weight and try and get the roll behind the center guard.
Heather Godberson, the third for Alberta, former Canadian and junior world women's champion.
Her weight definitely saved her on that shot, so that she would actually stay in the rings and not give Ann another chance to get around that center guard.
That'll be interesting if Breen hits and rolls out here, whether Cathy Borst will go around that center guard. It's important that Breen sticks here. Make Alberta make a play on it.
Nice shot, Teresa.
And Breen, the TD Bank manager in Ottawa, is right on target.
Oh, this is a very aggressive call by Cathy Borst. You know, she could freeze to that one in the back of the 12-foot, but she's elected to play the out turn around that center guard. And judging by the ice she has, that rock will curl big time at the end. It'll finish for her, just a question of weight.
Well, not right off. Just keep it clean.
It's like tea.
It's like tea. No, we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back. Tick then.
She is just going to rub the stone sitting out front just off the center line. Boy, she had a beauty if she was just a fraction of an inch wider.
Well, you see where she stopped. She's well back in the almost to the back of the 12-foot. So if she doesn't touch that guard, she might slip well back to the 12-foot. You watch here, they brush it very hard. Now they're playing the tick, hoping maybe to hit it a little bit thicker and roll in behind that corner guard. But it kind of straightens up the rock, and it carries right through to the back gate.
That was great communication on the part of the sweepers and Cathy Borst, because they let that tick instead of letting it get right behind the guard, and it makes Ann's shot a little bit tougher right now. She has to get a roll to get behind the guard instead of just drawing down there.
Control.
Clean.
Right off. A little down. Control.
Clean. Close. Clean.
Real close.
Yep.
Finish, I think.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa off.
Oh, she's got good weight.
Whoa. Come on. Finish.
Starting to move over for her now. She's going to get enough of it. Oh, she's a nice little roll.
Merklinger had a record of 7-5 in 1993, and that was when Sandra won her first Scott Tournament of Hearts championship in Brandon.
I remember that week Ann didn't have draw weight at all, but she certainly has made up for it this week. She's just played great all week. She's had that 4-foot right in her back pocket.
Well, her semifinal loss in Brandon was to Maureen Bonner of Brandon, and of course it was Bonner who lost to Sandra Schmirler in the final in 1993 in Brandon. Cathy Borst looking at 2 Ontario stones.
The nice thing for this shot for Cathy Borst is Ann Merklinger kind of showed her the way with any kind. It moved with weight at the end, so she knows it's going to finish.
We're bumping. Whoa. We got tap back. I'd say back line.
You hear him yelling. I think we got back line, which means she's a little bit heavier than the draw.
More weight. Whoa. Clean. Let it bend. Curl. Whoa.
Take it right out, Heather.
Not enough to push it out.
Okay, that's good.
Nice weight.
Yes, nice weight to the right. Any heavier than that, she might have just hit a corner but rolled out and allowed Ann Merklinger the chance to go around that center card. But her weight saved her. And now Merklinger's got a chance here. If she can come down and just play about the same weight, maybe just another foot more weight, she could maybe get the inside roll and be lying 3.
But there's also the danger, I would think, that she could jam that red rock back onto her own.
Absolutely. That's the danger.
We found throughout the week that these quiet little shots right in this spot, sometimes if you up the weight a bit, they'll hang straight on her. So this is going to be a tough little shot for Anne, and she has to be real careful that she doesn't throw it too hard.
Back line. Whoa.
You're saying back line.
Close. Whoa. Back 12. Whoa. Back line.
Whoa, whoa, off, guys.
Back
Off.
line. Close. Whoa.
Off.
You see it's running straight. They're not sweeping
Look
it.
at
and
this. It's a great
looks
shot.
like a great shot.
Oh, beautiful touch. Oh, what a nice touch early in this game.
Well, she had a similar touch yesterday in disposing of Sandra Schmirler in the semifinal.
Yes, and unfortunately she made it then too, Don.
Look, she just squeezed. Did you see how that rock finishes? Big time.
She just had nice quiet weight, and I think that was the key to that shot. She wanted to throw back line, and that's exactly what she threw. Got some nice movement at the end.
Now, this is what you don't want to happen the very first end. Drawing against 3, playing the in turn. But a few rocks down there. She's taken enough ice. Remember we said Merklinger holding the broom on the edge of the 4-foot and drew to the center line. They've taken about a foot more. It should be lots.
55.
Queen. Queen. Where are we?
T-line.
Queen.
Whoa. Whoa.
T-line.
Hear them saying T-line, so she has to be close.
Whoa.
Very close. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
6.
Oh, a touch too heavy. She just slides to the back of the 4, and as a result, it's an opening end steal of 1 by Ontario champion Anne Merklinger. 1-0 after 1.
Since 1982, Scott's Paper has been the proud sponsor of the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
That's right, Gavin. Scott Towels has been there for the spills of victory.
And Scotties was there for the disappointments of defeat. Oh, that was a tough loss.
Here's Sandra Schmirler and the Scott product team practicing their winning form.
What great action! That Scott team really delivers.
That was great. As always, the Scott Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by this family of fine Scott Paper products.
When AT&T Canada started this Dime Time thing, I said to myself, Dime Boy, you gotta be a part of this. Call anyone in Canada, any evening, any weekend, for a dime or less. Who needs the phone? Dime Time someone you love, okay? I'm no hero. I'm just trying to get Canada talking. One dime at a time. New Dime Time, only from AT&T Canada.
Well, if I had money, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or two. I'm crazy about a Ford truck. Lord, I'm crazy about a Ford truck. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road.
For the last 2 years, Canada's best-selling trucks have been Ford trucks.
It was about the time that gold was discovered on Bonanza Creek that the Canadian Bank of Commerce set out on the epic trek to the Klondike to open the first official bank. There was plenty of gold, all right, but the men knew they could trust the bank because they were there on behalf of the government and could see a larger dream, a dream called Canada.
As in the past, CIBC continues to play a pioneering role by investing in Canada's vision of the future. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
Come on, let's go.
Have fun.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Medium coffee, please.
Sit.
Oh, and 6 donuts.
Now it's easy to pick up 6 donuts for just $3.50 at Tim Hortons.
Heel. Heel.
We call it the Donut 6-pack.
So how'd it go?
He's a little slow.
I got donuts. Seems quick enough.
The new Donut 6-pack. For just $3.50, it's easy to pick up.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts, live on CBC. Brought to you by Scott Paper's family of products.
This is the 17th renewal of this competition under the sponsorship of Scott Paper Limited. It began here in Regina in 1982. Colleen Jones was the winner that year, and she also has her name into the record books as the person with the most wins during the Scott competition, a total of 71. She and Sue Ann Bartland of Newfoundland both led their rinks into this competition on a dozen occasions.
Well, let me tell you, if that's any indication, that first end of how this game is going to go, we're in for some exciting shot making and great curling.
Real tight, right up. Really tight. Really tight, really tight, right up, really tight. Nice shot, Audie.
With the steal in the first end, it looks like Ontario has just alleviated the advantage of finishing, or I guess Alberta has alleviated the advantage of finishing first in the round robin, because the steal of one just takes away that hammer, and that's a huge advantage for Ontario.
And again, I might point out that if you were with us during our coverage of the Olympic Games from Nagano,
Mine's good.
their last rock advantage was determined by a coin toss. Here, last rock advantage goes to the team with the best record in round robin play. Only on the men's side, where there was a clear first place finisher, and Mike Harris had last rock advantage. Unfortunately for Mike, it didn't prove to be an advantage.
Wait, Katie.
And Ontario, when they're playing their first rock at the end, they're playing very tight guards to the house, which tells me that they want to play it tight to the house, making it more difficult for Cathy Borst to draw around them. The further the guards are out, the easier it is to come around them, a lot more room. So Merklinger is playing tight, and you'll see here they try to come around that one and left it wide open.
Whoa, Queen. Whoa, close. Real close. No. Whoa, on. No. Close. No. Yep. Yep. Hard. Whoa.
Oh, great shot by Audrey Frey.
And Audrey said, if we mentioned Purley, Robertson, Panay, Hill, and McDougall, the law firm she works for, she might get an extra day off. So, Audrey, we've done our job. It's up to them.
Well, this is what Ontario does so well all week, is throwing that really quiet takeout weight, really working with the sweepers and getting those rolls. They made some great rolls against us yesterday, and it's because they throw that nice, easy weight that they can work with.
You know, I talked to Ann Merklinger yesterday after the game, and I said, what's the difference between your team in 93, 94 versus now? And she said that the mechanics, the playing the same weight all the time for takeouts, controlled weight, brushing, the mechanics of the game as opposed to strategy. And you're right, Sandra, it really has paid off because they play great controlled takeout weight.
Is he curling a little bit now?
No, that was inside.
What was the tight only?
Two stones in the rings belonging to Ontario, and Merklinger has called upon Patty McKnight to provide some additional protection.
Tight line. Whoa, room. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where are you?
Set for tight.
Yep.
Halfway.
Straight up tight. Straight up hard. Where are you?
Tight.
Whoa. Whoa, just straight up. Yep. Whoa. Nice shot, Patty. Good rock, sorry.
I guess that's a nice shot.
Shot, Patty.
She's kind of tucked it in a little bit behind that guard so that there's no chance for a triple.
Button here. Normal.
And I think that's the danger rock for Cathy Borst, and she has to get rid of that one. If she gets any kind of break at all, maybe hit it on the high side, make the double that way, and roll that guard into the ring somehow.
Normal.
Alberta needs a big shot somewhere in this end to get themselves out of trouble.
Yes! Hurry! Hurry! Right up, hurry!
Oh, Brenda Bomer
Great
does some
shot.
That is a great shot. She's moved that guard off the center line a bit over to the left-hand side, made a double kill with it. Beautiful curling shot by Bomer. Look at here. Hits it correct side. Great double. Moves the one off the button, moves the guard over. Great curling shot.
Brenda has just played great all week. It's the best I've ever seen her play. She has just really shot the lights out this week.
Line's good.
I think so, Audrey. Yep. Yep.
Halfway. Straight up tight, guys. Straight up, guys. Very hard. Straight up, guys.
Yeah, they don't want it too long. The longer a guard is, the easier it is to come around and bury. They want it tight.
Okay.
That's a little too far out and a little off the center line. that may come into play later on in this end.
There it is. I got it. Control.
Control, Cathy Borst is saying. Brush right on the edge of the rock. So you can tell how straight that ice runs on that side.
Control. Whoa. Whoa. Control. Cleaning. Whoa. Cleaning. No, it's got to move.
A little bit more weight, it won't move. Oh, good shot.
How quickly the complexion of this end has changed. That great shot by Alberta's second, Brenda Bomer. What a career change she had in the past year.
Pretty close. Play normal. Okay. Good.
Working for the municipal government for 14 years, taking over the operation of the family farm this past year.
Clean. Normal. Clean. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Close. Oh. Nice shot.
She came so close to getting both of them. Alberta still eyes one.
Well, you know, it's amazing how one shot will set up the end, and that Brenda Bomer double, plus rolling the rock off the center line, really paying off here.
Now Alberta has the end going exactly the way they want it to go, going around that center guard, and you never know, they might be able to put a couple back behind that. It really cuts hard off the line here, and you have to predict the curl, and they should be able to bury this totally.
Of course, that's the danger of leaving a high guard. I mean, if it's tight, it's very difficult to get around, but a high guard like this, halfway between the rings and the hog line, you can miss the guard by a foot, as they have here, and it'll finish for at the end and bury. So now they can get 2 or 3 in behind there.
That didn't come off the line near as hard as it did yesterday when we played Ann, so I'm not quite sure. It could be the rocks, or it could just be a difference in the ice today.
Yep. Pebble not quite worn down yet. Could be the answer. Chance for a double here.
Control. Clean. Quiet. Yep. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Yep. Yes. Right to the line. Hard. Shot, TB.
TB, T-Bird, or Toot, the nicknames that Teresa Breen responds to.
But I don't mind coming this way. Doesn't move here. Yeah, I like this. Could go here.
Well, she has an option. She could play the same shot again and draw into that area. Then she's got to set up for 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, I like that. You guys? Yeah. Come under. I'll throw a bit less and let you guys take it in.
You hear Heather Godberson saying, I'm going to throw a little bit less and you guys take it in. So she's really throwing this rock to the brushers. She's letting it go and saying, okay, you guys get on it, you judge it.
Looks like more. 63, relax.
Kathy will watch the line, you watch the weight.
Where is it? 8 foot. Further out.
This is a good aggressive call, and they have a chance to set up 3 if she makes a really good shot here.
Whoa.
It's got to finish for her.
Sit. Good shot, Heather.
Heather Godberson nudges back her own stone.
3. A little less.
A little more weight, really, than she wanted. That's right. They never swept it all the way down the ice. And because she was a little bit heavy and that rock never finished for her, if she just hairs the guard, she can come onto the inside of it, and there's no double there.
Sweepers can carry it.
You throw 14 maybe?
14.5.
So I got 13.3 in your first one.
Did you?
Yeah.
They didn't sweep it though.
No.
So
I didn't sweep this one really either though.
Same kicks.
Talking about the weight, 13.5, 14.
And there's no question about the good solid brushing will do and taking a stone those extra few feet.
That's getting to be so important in curling, more so than ever. Well, they got to go big time with this.
It looks like she's all over the guard, or is she going to get by with that strong brushing? Boy, that brushing kept that one on line. It looked like she was all over the guard. She got by. She removes one of the Alberta rocks.
She's got both.
You were tight.
I know I was tight, but I also had normal. This one over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What's it doing out here? We haven't seen much out here.
No, do you like the other turn?
No, it's really, really straight.
What kind of weight are you throwing?
Control.
Control?
Well, she could draw into this same spot here, but she's elected to come down, hit this one, and try to roll into this area here. And I think she's afraid maybe that if she leaves that rock on the right-hand side, maybe Ann Merklinger can come off it, even if she gets it in there. So
this is the second end of this championship game at the Scott Tournament of Hearts. Cathy Borst and her Alberta team trailing by one.
Whoa. We're off. Firm. Right off. Queen. Whoa. Queen. No. Shot.
No roll. And that is third shot, the one just delivered by Borst.
What'd I throw?
84. Little firm.
That is the difference between these two teams. Ann's team will throw a little bit more quieter weight that they can work with, and Cathy, when she gets down there, seems to up the weight a bit, and sometimes that doesn't work in her favor, as it turned out in this shot.
Isn't that something of a trademark of Alberta teams, both men and women?
They can throw the high hard one, and sometimes that can get them out of a pile of trouble, just like Cathy has done for this team all week.
She's still got a double for 3.
Yeah. You like the double?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I kind of like the double here too.
Yeah.
The reason I like the double is because
Make sure
even if she hits and rolls out, she got to come around that center rock into the 4-foot to square 2. It's not a tough shot, but that yellow rock sitting right in the 8-foot is kind of obstructing the 4-foot. And if she gets it anywhere, any kind of a roll to the inside, it's really going to be tough. A double is a bonus. She gets an inside roll behind her own yellow one. It's a great shot.
Oh, I think normal is. That's too much ice. It'll track on us, Trees.
Well, you heard Ann say it'll track on
Less
us.
ice.
Yeah, this spot hasn't moved all week, and so it's actually a pretty good chance to make this double, because if she keeps her weight fairly firm, it should sit out there for her, and if they get a bit of sweep, she should be able to hit the corner and make this double and be in great shape.
Watch Merklinger's delivery, a very upright style.
Oh, and that's one of the reasons she can't throw big weight, because she's up so high compared to Cathy Borst. Boy, I think she's missed this altogether.
Get over.
She's close to missing it.
She was full.
Yeah, not a very good pass by Ann.
That spot's been there all week, and if you push that out at all, you have no chance. It will not come back for you, and that, I think, is what Ann did with that shot.
One. No. Want to take our 2?
Yeah.
Now the problem.
Same here. Okay. Think a bit more, Kath. You'll best in there quite nicely.
I got all this side. Yeah.
Another full house here at the Agridome, and support here all week has been tremendous. A record established for this week of play in the 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts. Going back to 1982, they thought they had done well when they attracted 30,000 for the week.
Now that yellow rock behind that guard is accessible, but it's really a danger shot. I mean, you take control of the game here, you score your 2 points, or do you gamble by going around? I think this is a good call by Cathy Borst. The only thing that concerns me here is that she's playing the out turn as opposed to the in turn. There's been a lot of in turns
57.
run down there.
57. We're out here. Lots of room. Full 8.
No.
Where are we?
No.
T-line.
Top 8.
T-line.
Whoa.
T-line. Whoa.
Whoa.
Full 8. Fight for it. Come on. Come on. Whoa. Queen.
On the last end, she was drawing against 3 and was just slightly heavy. Gave up a steal of 1 here. She draws full 4 foot to score 2 with her final stone, event number 2. And it's a 1-point game after 2 ends of play.
Too much ice.
Next. Another case of boredom twitch syndrome.
Nothing relieves boredom twitch syndrome like Star Choice digital satellite television. Over 90 channels of movies, sports, and entertainment. All with cinema quality picture and CD quality sound.
Honey, our favorite movie! Oh, thank you.
For a retailer in your community, call now. Finally, the choice is yours. Star Choice.
Another Nokia discovery. If technology is difficult to learn or program, most people won't. It's why at Nokia we make wireless phones that are easy to understand and operate with one-button scrolling and simple directions. Inspired technology with a human touch. Nokia. Connecting people.
The power of champions. Champions are made through consistent performance in good times and under pressure. On their triumphant return home, SaskPower congratulates the Schmirler team for its gold medal performance in Japan. SaskPower, proud sponsor of World Champions.
8 hours of fever relief. New Children's Advil.
A tough cold isn't just up here. Your sinuses are congested too. That's why there's Advil Cold and Sinus for congestion. It's tough on colds like Advil is on pain, and now it's available without a prescription.
Advil Cold and Sinus, today's relief for tough colds.
Well, a gentleman who has been providing support for the Alberta Curlers all week is Harry Godberson, the 91-year-old grandfather of the Alberta third Heather. 91 years of age and still curls on a regular basis.
Good for him. Well, that's why Heather's such a great curler. Great support from the family and a history of curling.
And of course, Heather has an opportunity to follow in the footsteps of Cathy Borst, a Canadian Junior Championship, along with a Scott Tournament of Hearts title. But first of all, they have to dispose of Anne Merklinger of Ontario.
Good.
Right at the end of that end, I heard Anne Merklinger say to one of her players, too much ice on her takeout. But to me, as I said, we're standing directly behind the sheet, and it looked to me like she was a little bit wide of the broom, and it stayed right there. Anyway, you can't afford those misses when you're playing in a national final or any kind of final, but
I think weight should still be the same.
it happens, and now they got to maybe plan a little bit of an attack here to try and get that 2 points back.
Tight. Whoa, whoa, it's got more. No, no. Where are you? Tight. No. Good, eh? Careful. No. Right here. It's tight. No. 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 Sit. Good. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit too strong. Wanted that one out in front.
I thought she had more.
Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake by Audrey. You don't want to put those guards in the house when you're playing the way Anne plays, because she plays so aggressive and she can generate the points if you can get those guards out front.
Control. Control. Baby. Go. Yep. 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 Whoa, whoa, whoa. Control down. Whoa. Whoa. Up. Yep. Good shot.
Well, that's the trouble when you have last rock and you're trying to generate some offense here, and you go into the house with your first rock. Everything is played in the rings, and your offensive chances are really slim.
Green. Oh! Right off!
All right.
Not the result that Audrey Frey was looking for.
I don't think she liked the outcome of that at all. I don't think she threw it very good, and that's why she must have realized she turned it out and yelled right away to tell them not to sweep. Look at those numbers for Brenda. She has just done that all week, just played great.
Whoa, line. Whoa, it's got a
Yeah, she can make all the shots.
Yep, yep.
A particularly big shot on the last end.
Well, she was responsible for scoring that deuce on that end with that great shot. Really, Merklinger chasing Cathy Borst in this whole end. Needs a double to try and get out of it.
Cathy's not having a bad game herself here with 94%. I'm beginning to think I'm glad I'm sitting here.
Well, they certainly curled well in the semifinal victory yesterday. And Patty McKnight removed one of the red rocks belonging to Alberta.
Yeah, I think that rock is a little too close to the rings to leave it there. Ontario may try and chip and roll it in later on the end. So they can accomplish the same thing by hitting and rolling in front of this rock as opposed to maybe guarding their own.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, we only got a corner.
Running out of corner, meaning that you're going to get it too thin. And the ring's very lively here. A lot of roll on the rocks in the house.
Stay weight. Whoa, whoa. Stay weight. Yep. Get up. Get up. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
When Patty makes a shot, you can often hear the moose call in the stands. And there are two reasons for that. One is providing support to the Ontario team. Patty has also been wearing the moose costume, running around the stands at Dryer since 1986.
A little firm, you hear them saying.
It just rolled out of play.
Well, you got to keep your skips in the game some days.
Really tight.
I didn't think she had last rock here. She's going to play a setter there. Now she's going to go down the corner, or even if she stops short on this rock, would be a good one. You can maybe use it later on the end. You hear Teresa Green saying, uptight, you want it too long. Maybe it's tight. That's a good shot. I just want you to watch Teresa Green's delivery. She comes down, she goes, watch her eyes. She's looking at the rock now, then she looks up, right at the end. And when she's in her backswing, she's looking at the rock all at once.
Good roll by Godderson.
Well, the nice shot for Heather here is the fact that she rolled away from that corner guard and took the play away from there. Now for Ontario to get and roll behind her, they got a long way to roll, so it's a good shot.
Close. Yep. Yep. Yes. Yep. Right up. Hurry. Right up. Hurry up. Good. That's good. Hard. Shot.
Another good shot by Breen. This rink is somewhat unique, like the Schmirler foursome. They've been together since 1993. Many times you see rinks curl 1 or 2 years together and then break up.
That one finished pretty good. Yeah. Very good.
Well, they're very compatible. They get along on and off the ice. Spend a lot of time together, a lot of time practicing, a lot of time traveling to all the Catskills, of which they were very successful last year.
And they're having a good time, and that's pretty much the key to why a team will stay together. If you're having a good time and you enjoy the people you're playing with, then it's lots of fun and you'll stick together. This is a bit of a gamble for Cathy Borst to go around this one that's so tight, but it's a good aggressive call, and she's really going to force the issue here with Anne's first shot.
Well, the only trouble going around here, if she doesn't bury it and then Anne Merklinger hits and rolls, then she's forced to make a very difficult shot. If she doesn't make it, Ontario may have a chance to chip and roll that other one in the ring. So.
No. We need a piece. No. Need a piece.
That's not what you want to hear when that rock's coming down. It means it's heavy, that they need to chip off the guard, and that guard is so tight. But the weight's coming down. She's going to be in the rings, but she's going to be behind the tee line.
Okay, Kath. Okay, good job, guys.
Yeah, a little deeper than she wanted.
Whoops. A little hot in there as soon as I let it go.
And of course, the bad thing for Alberta is the fact that it slipped behind the tee line now, and Merklinger can draw around that guard.
Anyway, as soon as I let it go, I was heavy.
And she has a guard and also backing to come up to, so not the place you want to be. That draw, that much in front of the tee line would have been great.
Top four is good, guys. Yep.
Ontario stole one in the first. Alberta came back with 2 on the second. Merklinger has last rock here, playing the third.
T-line. Close. Room. Yep. Yep for line. Room. How's the weight? Yep. Room. Yes. Hard. Squad. Right over, Audrey. Right over. Hard.
Well, a little quiet with that draw.
That's good, Ann. Is that top four? Probably 8 foot.
That's the bad news. The good news is she chipped the other one in. Now, Cathy Borst has the decision to make. Is she going to draw, or is she going to play the double?
We sit halfway under. We got.
They have to watch those rocks of Anne's, because she played with those yesterday, and I'll tell you, I think she's picked 2 rocks out of the whole set of yellow stones that actually curl really nicely around. So hers might move a little bit more than everybody else's, and that can work to her advantage. In this case, it didn't, but they'll have to watch those 2 stones.
Yeah, I think so, because if I hit and roll the wrong way or something, she can still get her double.
She can. Well, if we put her in there, it's hard for her to get a 1. She can't bury him that way.
What do you like for ice? That should be close.
That's lots.
If less weight should come over.
Okay, we're only front 8, eh?
She'd like to put it right in that position there, and even maybe tuck it in behind the guard just a little bit more, maybe in this area here, so that they can't get the straight back. So anywhere in that area, partially behind one of those yellow rocks. But she's playing the out turn. She's going to come around that one on the left-hand side.
This is a really important shot to get a corner of this buried. Otherwise, she leaves the double for Anne to lay 3. So this is a big shot.
She's got to be aware of how much Anne Merklinger's rock curled at the end.
sweep.
No line.
We need it. Whoa. Gotta need it. Yep.
With her saying we need it, meaning it's a little bit light.
Let it bend. Let it bend. Bend it. Gotta be second. Bend it. Whoa.
Well, there is a raise possibility, but it has to be a very precise shot for Ann Merklinger.
Shot, Cal.
Shoot.
Because of those 2 yellow stones that are surrounding the red stone at the top of the 8-foot, it's really tough for Ann to play that double because there's just no room to get angle, and she can't hit it on the nose. She has to get some angle on that top red, and there just isn't a spot to get angle.
If she hits it a little bit on the high side, but like you say, Sandra, it's a tough gamble. She's actually looking at maybe just playing the bump to tie the game.
The double is there. It's just a tough little double, but it is there, and that could really blow this game away if she gets 3 points here.
You have to hit this, eh?
Just off nose either way.
Yeah.
Like Teresa had an intern hit here, right?
Yeah, the intern.
Okay.
That center line just doesn't move very.
No.
Yeah, just control us.
You like this, Teresa? Yep.
Well, the interesting thing for Ann Merklinger, she's picked out the intern, and everybody's been throwing the outturn down there.
Take lots of time. Throw it when you're ready.
You see her, she's going to come down here and maybe try to hit it on the nose and try and drive it straight back on that one at the back. If she does, she's going to get score 3.
You heard Audrey Fry tell her, take lots of time and throw it when you're ready. And that is the sign of a good front-end player, to give your skip that confidence that they have time to throw and to throw when you're ready, because it's a big shot.
Ann doesn't let much distract her when she's in the hack and concentrating on the shot.
Yep.
I think they got to go hard on this one because it'll move over in that line.
Can she push it back and get 2? No.
One red.
It's a steal of 1. As Alberta comes through on M3 to jump into a 2-1 lead. A 3-1 lead, sorry.
Feel the cottony softness.
The majesty of Karuizawa, Japan, the backdrop to the Olympic debut of curling. The first ever women's gold medals awarded to one of the sport's all-time great rinks. The Sandra Schmirler team of Saskatchewan wore their emotions on their sleeves and then returned home to Regina, the most celebrated female curlers in the country.
It seems like at this Scott Tournament of Hearts, it doesn't matter how we do. People are just so happy that we came home with the gold, and they're happy to see us play. It's a comforting feeling playing in the Agridome, and we're really enjoying it.
Across the miles, rival rinks with designs on unseating the champions, but with respect for their accomplishments.
The curlers in Canada are the best, and knowing that, we were so close ourselves. And I was really just proud of those girls. They've worked hard over the last few years, and this was a real dream come true, I'm sure, for them. And it's really good to see them bring home the gold for themselves in Canada.
I think Sandra's accomplishments and her teammates were tremendous. They played very tough, rebounded from a really tough semifinal, and the fact that Canada was able to win the gold medal in the first time that the Olympics has invited curling in as a full medal sport was spectacular.
Home to this province rich in curling tradition brought out pride from two sisters with a sibling and curling rivalry with gold medalist Joan McCusker.
When they won the gold in the event, it was very much, you know, the team is friends, and Joan being a sister, that was the emotion of the game. My emotion as a curler, as a Canadian, was during the gold medal ceremony.
All of us were all on our edge, like wanting them to make it to that final game. Because we knew once they got there, they would do like they had always done. When they got to a World Championship final, they would win it. So it was incredible.
All I can tell you is that when we walked into the Scott Tournament of Hearts, into the Agridome, and the people went crazy, we started laughing and went, oh my God, this is unbelievable. The amount of people that are so excited about our win in the Olympics. It's bigger than any World Championship that we've ever done before. So I can't tell, I know for sure that the reality hasn't set in yet because I haven't gotten back to my real world. So I don't know what it means yet, and I think it'll have an impact for the rest of my life.
And there has been no end to the tributes for you and your rink, Sandra. I've wondered, though, how hard it must have been to come back from that emotional high and curl again here in Regina.
It was tough. We didn't really have a chance to celebrate that gold medal, and we just kind of went from one boiling pot to the other, and so it was a tough time. But we knew we had to play in Regina, and I think the crowd here in Regina and Saskatchewan really got us through the first few days.
Now just 3 weeks left in maternity leave.
Yeah, it's just hard to believe.
One thing to another.
Yeah, exactly. I might have to be asking for a little bit more time off. This maternity leave hasn't been the relaxing thing that most should be, I think.
I don't think so. You need a break.
I think so.
Is your boss listening?
I hope so. Heather, what do you say? A little more time off, maybe?
Maybe a month.
Thanks.
All right, back to the booth.
Yeah, that's one of the great lines. What you do during your maternity leave? Well, I went to the Olympics.
Yeah, that's great.
Like lots.
And there's not much doubt that the presence of Sandra Schmirler and her Olympic champions contributed to a record crowd. 154,688 people, including today's crowd, have watched curling this week at the Scott Tournament of Hearts in the Agridome.
Well, we knew this event was going to be a success just after our win in Vancouver because ticket sales went crazy. And then when Cathy's team won from Regina and the same home club, it was just phenomenal. And the organizing committee here has done a fabulous job. This has been the best Scott Tournament of Hearts that I've ever participated in.
We are thrilled. That's the comment of Bernadette McIntyre, the committee chairperson, and she and her group certainly should be.
Let it roll this way. It's rolling. Roll it then. Roll that one. Go hard, Brenner. Hard. Shot. That's right, good one.
The oldest curler in this competition, 43-year-old Kate Horn, with 2 good shots on this fourth end. Alberta leading by a score of 3-1.
Roll forward, a little up, baby. Control. Right off.
She's majoring out.
Forward.
Finish.
Shot.
And Ontario, after having that point stall, will really have to start making some hit and rolls to get back in the game. This Alberta team is playing very, very well, making all their shots.
Control down. Queen. Yeah. Just control. Whoa. Just down. Just. Yep. Roll it down the yellow.
Well, we saw how one shot in the second end changed the complexion of the end. It was made by Brenda Bomer, and she's made another fine shot here on the fourth.
Now, with that rock roll too, there is a chance for Ontario to hit and flop behind the guard and maybe even make the double. It'll be very tight if they do, but just trying to negotiate the rocks in a position where they can score too, and they need a little bit of a roll here if they're going to do that.
Forward.
Patty, curl.
Yep. A little high. That's fine. Nice shot. 6.
Is that any good? Great curling by the 2 seconds in this game. It's really entertaining to watch. Both are playing great.
Yes, the numbers very impressive.
Firm. Yep. Firm. Same way. Firm. Same. Whoa. Little up. Whoa.
Little up meaning a little bit more weight than they wanted.
Shot.
She hits a
Shot.
little bit of an outside roll. Very precise shooting here by both teams.
At this point, Anne isn't even real concerned about the double on the rock in the forefoot. What she wants is that roll behind that guard. She's not too concerned about that rock in the forefoot at all right now.
Control.
Yes, she needs some kind of protection.
So the weight's coming off. Board. Want me to roll this? Okay.
Well, there's the roll, but in the wrong direction.
Shot, Patty.
Yeah, that's not what Anne wanted at all. She needed to keep that rock in play. This gives Cathy a chance to control the end and maybe peel that guard or throw another guard and get some control of this end.
I don't mind coming under this way, though. What's that? Come around this way?
No, you set up. Well, we're going to set up a double that.
Just debating whether to play the out turn around the guard or the in turn. Heather likes the in turn. Cathy likes the out turn.
The interns the out turns just won't move around that guard if it's the same as it has been all week. But these interns will come off that line, and she should be able to get at least partially buried behind that guard.
Okay, I want to be top 8.
Well, in the second end, there was about 6 rocks thrown down in that area, so they know the ice. And you're right, Sandra, it will finish for them, depending on the weight. Very aggressive call here by Cathy Borst.
Mine's good.
She could run the guard and hopefully roll over and protect her rock in the forefoot, but she's being very aggressive here.
Yep. Mine's good. Yep. Watch room. Let's go. Let's go. Mine's good. Go. Top 8. Whoa, 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 whoa.
They don't want it deep. They want it in front of the line.
Whoa. Whoa.
Look at it finish. It's just coming over there nice.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's a great shot.
It is. It's a beautiful shot. Because the big thing, it's tucked around behind that guard partially. They cannot get the inside roll. And it forces Ontario to play to the open rock.
Well, Heather said she didn't mind throwing that turn, and she knew what she was talking about, obviously.
Whatever. I like that.
If a player's comfortable with a shot, give it to them.
Okay. Yep. T-line. Tight line. Yep. Yep.
Just trying to come up to this rock, maybe tap it back.
Hurry line.
Got to worry about line.
Hard line. Hurry, guys, right up to it. Come on, guys, right up hard. Backwards. Okay, whoa. Whoa.
Ooh, what a nice shot. Oh, what a gorgeous curling shot.
Thought she had less there. Yeah, me too. Nice shot, Teresa.
Nice shot is right, Teresa.
Welded right to the face of that red rock.
Right the upper middle. Little firm. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Oh. Clean. Yes. Yep. Hey. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
They just want to hit this on the nose and leave the yellow stone right behind the red stone.
Shot. Little firm.
Good shot.
Little lap, eh? Yep. Little firm. Okay. Shot. A little up. A little up.
That's you're good. Nice shot.
Thanks.
Now, Ontario cannot afford to hit that rock because if they hit it, they're going to set up a double. Either if they're going to hit it, they're going to have to get some action on their shooter and roll behind the corner guard and still remain for second shot rock. So.
And that still might set the double. So I think Anne's first call was probably the right one here, just to freeze to that, and then it's going to be tough to get it out of there.
The only trouble with cornering is we still give her this then, eh? We give her the outside?
Yeah. I don't mind trying to roll it.
Yeah, you just do that shot though, right? It's pretty nice. You like that same shot?
Yeah, either one.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah, I
like?
like the same shot.
Okay.
Same shot, guys.
I think this is the right call. Even if she gets to the face of the red one totally and gives a little bump on the yellow, Right in there. She should be sitting in good shape.
This corner a little high.
Well, it's a gamble. She cannot afford to touch that rock at all. She has to corner freeze it on such an angle where they can't run them all together. If she comes over flush with the red one, that's not a good shot. She has to corner freeze it.
T-line, back 4.
No.
T-line, back 4, you heard.
Back 4.
No, off. No.
Back 4.
No.
Weight's coming off it a bit.
You sure you got
Whoa,
that?
no.
Oh, we're to it for sure.
Oh, keep it high.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep, we're to it.
Yep. Hard. Whoa. Nice shot.
Great
Oh, is that
shot.
foul?
That's a great shot.
That's an unbelievable shot. And we said the importance of staggering it, and that is staggered in a perfect position. Because now Alberta cannot afford to hit that. They can hit it, but they'll still leave the one at the back.
Well, Breen with 2 great shots in this end. As a scorer, what do you give her?
Oh, you give her 4. Absolutely a full.
Bonus points?
No, I don't believe in bonus points.
Sit here.
I don't think I want to be that tight. You don't want to play red over.
Well, I just don't think we'll get out of it afterwards.
Well, we've sitting 2.
Yeah, but
I think it's too dangerous.
do you like this?
You've got to be sitting high on this side of it.
Yeah, if you're going to guard, you better make sure you're out in front of the
I don't mind
rings.
that.
You don't want to come in.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
You don't want to be in?
That's a bit of
No,
a gamble,
just
this
tight.
shot that they're playing.
Actually, let's just follow their line. They just threw it right here.
Okay.
Right here.
I'd be tempted to throw what
Just
Cathy
tight 12.
had wanted to throw to start with, was to pick that
No, just biting.
red
Just
onto
biting.
yellow. Even if you pick the top yellow one out, isn't a bad shot. But they're going to go with the guard and go really aggressive here.
Well, you could come down here and hit this one on the angle. The yellow one, and even if you hit the red one, you could drive it on the shot rock. The old telestrator took a jump there on me.
Well, you haven't had the opportunity to work with it for a while. You didn't have your favorite toy over in Karyuzawa.
Tight. Whoa.
Tight. Are we? Tight. Clean. It's actually coming down. We're short. We're losing.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
She has to be on the center line side of the yellow stone that's in the rings. Otherwise, she gives Anne a chance to pump out that red one sitting behind it. But this looks pretty good.
It is. It's lined it up good. It's covered the high side of the yellow rock.
Okay, sort of losing line there, Chris.
Borst with a percentage edge over her Ontario counterpart.
Start curling.
Yeah, just a nice tight there.
The bump on the yellow one?
Thank you. And on the nose and want that straight back.
I like that call. I like raising the yellow one. I mean, you could draw around it.
What kind of weight?
I'll just T-line as well.
Don't play the bump? Or the draw? Hey? Oh, we could. That's a tough shot, eh? Yeah. Okay.
Time.
And again, unlike the Olympic competition, in the Scott Tournament of Hearts, you are allowed to call a timeout. And as a result, Jim Waite comes out to confer with the Ontario team, and his Alberta counterpart, Darrell Horn, comes out taking advantage of the timeout to speak with wife Kate as he passes by her and the other members of the Alberta ring.
Jim Waite is a really experienced coach. He travels with the Canadian men's team to the world competitions and was with the Olympic team, Mike Harris's team, this year. And so he is very experienced.
She's gonna.
Yeah, she'll guard it up.
You like to play a play on that yellow thing?
It'll open it up. Yeah.
What kind of weight? Back.
Enough so that's going to roll off.
So which way are we aiming
Pack
here?
weight onto what? This thing?
That one or that one?
That one. That way?
Onto this one?
Yeah. And then you
And still
open it
leave
up.
that there?
Then you open it up. You're still shot.
So play number 5 rock onto these.
That's the call.
That's a great call, I think. It opens
Absolutely.
the whole situation up. Plus, she can be laying 3 buried if she makes this. It's a great call.
Bumping it this way. Okay. Let's go. Now, I like that. We can't hurt ourselves over there.
This is here, right?
No. Oh, I can't see any of it.
No. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so we're going to throw back line weight.
Yeah, or hack.
You like hack better?
Yeah, you got to get that red one out.
Okay, so hack weight.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, after consultation, I think they've decided what they're going to do. They're going to try and come down here, hit this one, drive it over here. But the big thing is they want to roll their shooter over here so that they expose this one. But if they can hit it on the high side and get it over there, they'll be lying 3 buried behind the rock that Cathy Borst just threw up.
Piles on the inside. Might need a touch more. Yeah.
Huge shot here.
We're going to hit the yellow rock high onto, make contact onto our yellow ones, okay? Yep. Hack weight.
Hack! Yep.
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
It's just that rock will finish.
No! No!
Close.
Right off!
Real
No!
close.
No! Yep!
How's the angle?
Is this any good?
Shot!
And her shooter rolls over, exposes the second shot rock. It doesn't get any better than that.
Shot.
Look at here. They don't touch it all the way down the ice. It finishes just at the end. Perfect angle. Could have hit it a little bit thicker. Maybe get on that red rock a little bit quicker to get it back in for 4th shot. But beautiful shot by Merklinger.
Should be good, eh? Yeah. Sit right on it.
Yeah.
Well, for Cathy Borst, she has the guard out in front. There's a little bit of a space between the shot rock and the 3rd shot rock, so she can maybe corner freeze it. She's had great draw weight.
Okay, freeze one in there.
The first 3 ends, so I would suspect she'd be very, very close to making this.
Here we're.
But she cannot afford to touch either
try and
rock.
get shot for sure, but just don't take it too far behind the tee line because then there's a double there for her.
At this point, I think Cathy would be actually not too upset if she just gave up a deuce this end, because Anne sure has things set up for herself.
Yeah, the end is set up that it could be disastrous for the Alberta team.
Stay close for line. Yep. Yep. Yes. Yep. Hard. Watch out. Hard.
Oh, she's got great line. Has she got the weight?
Hard. Get this one over. Shot.
Shot stone still belongs to Ontario.
Okay, that's fine.
2nd and 3rd to Alberta.
That's actually a pretty good shot. It makes Anne's shot for 2 tough, but she still does have a shot for 2, but it just makes it quite a bit tougher.
Should be safe, hey? What do you think?
Because I think that one's going to go over them 6 ball.
Yeah. That one curled hey, at the end?
Yeah.
No, we need more weight than that to move it, don't we?
Well, we got to get it low enough for that to go back that way, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to play off this to spin that.
What do you see, Jimmy?
Just make sure 2 anyways, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, you heard what Ann said.
Okay, board or control?
Board.
Okay.
Okay.
She's going to hit.
There.
Okay. I did too.
She's going to come down here and hopefully hit this one, and that her shooter goes up this way and pushes this rock just back into here. So she counts this one, and her shooter. She wants to get a little forward action.
What way? This board.
On her rock.
Pretty good board, though, okay?
But here she's
We need about a half
concerned
rock.
about scoring 2. 3 will be a bonus.
For Ann Merklinger, this will be a little more weight than she normally throws.
That's right. The thing about Ann, when she throws a little bit of weight, she gets a lot of rotation on her rock, so the rock really doesn't curl very much, stays straight, but she gets a lot of action on her shooter.
Control!
Yep.
Control!
Whoa! Whoa! Yep. No! Yeah!
I think they got to go on it.
Whoa! 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 No! Curl!
Well, it's 1, and is it going to be 2? It's close.
1? Yep.
It looks like it's just 1, and confirmation from the women on the ice. And it's a single point on N4 for Ontario. So after 4, it's a 1-point game in this women's final.
Come on, let's go.
Have fun.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Medium coffee, please.
Sit.
Oh, and 6 donuts.
Now it's easy to pick up 6 donuts for just $3.50 at Tim Hortons.
Heel. Heel.
We call it the Donut 6-pack.
So how'd it go?
He's a little slow.
I got donuts. Seems quick enough.
The new Donut 6-pack. For just $3.50, it's easy to pick up.
Ancient philosophy made sense of the world by saying that all it is earth, air, fire, and water. And, of course, there's solid agronomic information. Total service is a way of helping farmers make sense of their world. It means we listen, we learn. Then we offer solutions for your farm. Total service from Dow AgriSciences.
Another Nokia discovery. Hands do not have sharp edges. So neither do our phones. At Nokia, we designed them with soft, round corners to better fit the human hand, not to mention the human pocket or purse. Inspired technology with a human touch. Nokia. Connecting people.
When AT&T Canada started this Dime Time thing, I said to myself, Dime Boy, you gotta be a part of this. Call anyone in Canada, any evening, any weekend, for a dime or less. Who needs the phone? Dime Time someone you love, okay? I'm no hero. I'm just trying to get Canada talking. One dime at a time. New Dime Time, only from AT&T Canada.
Auto parts, auto parts, auto parts. We got them small, we got them round, we got them big, we got them long. Auto parts, auto parts, auto parts. For 4-inch cars and heavy trucks, bring on in parts and you will find. Auto parts, auto parts, auto parts. For quality, we have the line for top performance every time.
UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
Superior parts for every type of range you know is built just right. Auto parts, auto parts, auto parts.
Available at Auto Pro and UAP Napa member installers.
Well, we talked about the differences in the curling styles of the two skips, and let's compare.
Well, you see them there. Hands on the right, Cathy on the left. Ann really sits up high in her delivery. She doesn't get down very low. Cathy Borst, on takeouts especially, really gets nice and low, but Ann always stays high, whether she's throwing a takeout or a draw. And I think that's why she throws quiet takeout weights, because she's up so high, she doesn't put the force behind it.
Really tight. Tighter halfway, actually. Tight's good. Tight.
We're coming to you from the Agridome in Regina. The second time the event has been held in the capital of Saskatchewan. Next year, the Scott will be held in Charlottetown. The second time the event will be held in Prince Edward Island. 1984 the first time, and in 1999 the dates are the 20th to the 28th of February. Now, Sandra, I'm going to ask for a little inside information here. Are you going to be trying to get to Charlottetown next year?
I can't divulge my secret. I can't see the team quitting. It's just too much fun. Saskatchewan winters are too darn long to be sitting at home, so I'm sure we'll continue playing and giving it a run.
You got lots of room. Lots of room. Tight. Hard. Go. Hard. Hurry. Very hard. Hard then. Hard, hard, hard. Where are we? Where are we? It's wide open. Whoa. Whoa. Shot. Katie.
Well, Kate Horn's mother, Marge, watching back in Salmon Arm, British Columbia, will be happy with that shot from her daughter.
The Land Merklinger's job here is try and hold Alberta to 1, force them to take, or try and steal one. He doesn't want to give up a deuce, and that would mean big control for Alberta.
Close.
So she has to try and defend against giving up more than one.
Shot.
And maybe trying to steal one.
Well, Cathy's going to try and keep things a little bit more open now, a little less complicated. She's got control of the game, one up with hammer, and she just wants to hit this and roll probably to the corner and get a corner guard.
Yeah, she doesn't mind playing on the corner of the sheet when she has last rock.
Oh, she just missed that Yellowstone with a half bite on the 12.
That's not what Alberta wanted at all. It left a center guard. It left a Yellowstone in play that's biting the rings. That didn't turn out for them at all.
It's amazing how one rock can change the complexion of an end. Go from defense to offense with half a shot or a miss.
8 foot.
That's exactly what Ontario is doing now.
Lots of line.
They have the center guard, and they want to play in the center 4-foot area.
Line. 8 foot. Where? 8. Hard. Hard.
This should really cut hard around this guard. They come off the line there and they just go sideways.
Right over, guys. That's fine, Patty. She was just 8 foot.
Yeah. Might sure came off it. That's okay too.
I like the red on the yellows.
Like
that?
2 yellows aren't bad.
There's no, I don't think the double's there. Okay. It's too thin.
Okay.
Actually, you're right. I don't mind that.
I
I like this, Kath. Yeah. You good? Control.
Again, perhaps, Don, an explanation what the word control means when they refer to a shot.
Well, when they say control, they want to control their weight. They don't want them to overthrow it and not to underthrow it. Control weight, staying within the weight that you've established as a team for take-ons.
Great shot.
I guess that's a great shot.
Lovely.
She came to play today. That is a really nice shot by Brenda.
Well, it's set up the whole end from now for Ann Merklinger. She's got to decide. Does she run the front or does she draw around in the 4-foot?
You like this?
Remember, she can't afford to give up more than one.
Okay, Patty.
Knowing the way Ann plays, she's going to play the draw around because she's just an aggressive team, and that's how they play, and that's how they win.
Patty McKnight, the 38-year-old pharmacist with Health Canada in the Therapeutic Products Program.
T to back 4.
Her second stone of this end.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, close.
T still, back 4.
Your shooter, low. That's fine, Patty. Nice shot.
And the end result, Ontario lies 2.
Shot, PJ. Shot. Try and get them both. Control weight.
Well, Alberta could hit that one in the open and plop behind. But playing that front one, that's a dangerous rock, so they're trying to make the double here.
Right off.
Run the front, run our red. Whoa, 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 we're still on the red.
Queen. Get over. Sit. Okay, that's good. Shot, shot.
Now I can't tell whether that front one is in. It looks like it's off, but it's very, very close.
Okay, just this.
Control.
Queen. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yes. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Roll is important here.
Yes. We're only listening to you, Ann.
A little high. Yep, right over. Nice shot.
Ah, that is a good shot.
Well, you had Green yelling the opposite instruction to what Ann Merklinger was shouting, and lead Audrey Frey said, "We're only listening to you, Ann."
Red back.
I wish my team would tell me that.
Listen to the skip, eh?
What's that? Will Lars roll to be a guard for there?
No.
There's nothing more frustrating for a front end than when the thrower of the rock is yelling whoa and the skip is yelling yes.
Forward, wait.
Godberson, when she won the Canadian Junior Championship in 1996, posted a 10-3 record and then went 9-2 in claiming a world title. Her grandfather, very proud of her that year. He's hoping he's about to witness a Canadian Women's Championship for his granddaughter.
Whoa! Whoa!
That's an excellent shot. The standpoint is that she made contact with the second shot rock, but she's got one buried.
Oh, you guys, this way. Yeah, big time. Okay.
Anne has to be careful with placement of the rocks now, and for fear that she's going to set up a double and leave Alberta the opportunity to lay two. So these draws are important to put them in the right spot.
Well, not only in the right spot and not set up a double, but she's got to make sure this is buried, because she doesn't want it to sit in the open where Alberta can hit and roll behind the guard.
No.
Has to be buried. It can't sit out in the open.
Whoa.
Boy, she's betwixt between all of it, because they can get the inside roll, they can also get the double.
Shoot, this didn't curl.
So not only did it not curl, but I think it went about a foot and a half too far. I mean, that far in front of the tee line, another foot in front of the tee line makes a big difference to this shot.
Well, then the double isn't there. Now
That's
the double is pretty much a natural. You hit it anywhere on the outside, and she's got the double.
Straight up arrow.
Well, we said Anne had to guard against Alberta getting two, and if Godberson makes this shot, she's got it set up for two and maybe more.
Godberson, the youngest curler on the ice, 22 years of age, a University of Alberta graduate.
Little firm. Whoa! Clean. Yeah. Whoa!
Got the hole.
Oh boy. You heard her say she got the hole, but it just curled it up at the end. And you can see that she just touched the front one, because her shooter, watch it here, it carries on through like a carom shot, which means she really hit the one very thin. Look at this. And her shooter goes right to the back of the 8-foot.
Got the hole.
Almost the hole.
Yeah. Good shot.
A smile of relief for Heather Godberson.
No kidding. She was very, very fortunate there.
In that spot to get them both out. Oh, we were catching so thin.
Sorry, I thought we were just going for the roll. I didn't realize.
Double.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of behind the tee. Maybe we should freeze it, eh?
And actually, where Heather Godberson rolled to is a pretty good spot, because now it makes Anne's draw around a little bit tougher, because she's got to be totally buried, and it's pretty much open. So even the freeze doesn't get Anne out of trouble here.
Back line.
Clean. Whoa, off. Off. Close.
Back.
Whoa. Close. Yes.
Whoa. Back line.
Yes. Whoa. Off. Whoa, guys.
Back line.
No. Whoa.
Just curl. Go your way, Patty. Hard. Shot, Ann.
A bit of an inside roll to lie one.
Again, she threw that nice control control weight, and that got the inside roll. Tough little shot here for Alberta to make this shot, because it's partially buried, and she has to roll to the outside now, which might give Anne a chance to roll back to the center.
Well, the thing about it, this is a very scary spot in the ice because it runs very straight. As a matter of fact, floats a bit. If you got any kind of weight, it'll float right on by. If you underthrow it, it moves big time at the end. So this is a weight shot. And I'll tell you, as soon as Cathy Borst lets this go, Heather Godberdson will make a call on it right away, whether to sweep or not to sweep.
Okay.
Something we've noticed about Heather during the week, she's very good at calling the line.
Yes, she is. It's set up beautifully for Cathy Borst here for 2.
Watch it! Stop! Yes! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh! Backed up. Big time. Big weight. Hard, 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 Heather. Hard, Heather, hard!
Oh, boy. Like they yelled 3/4 of the way down the ice, and then it floated on her.
That's still a good shot by Cathy, because she's got one buried sitting top of the rings, and what's Anne going to do? Try and bury one around it, and that's not that easy to bury a rock around rocks that are so tight to the top of the rings. So it's still a good position for Alberta.
Oh, it is. And now the big thing for Anne Merklinger, she's gonna stick with the out turn. I thought she maybe go with the in-turn, but the in-turn side, the red rock that's in the rings is jutting out a bit, so she's gonna pick the turn that she knows. Now her first shot of this end was just back line, so she has to take about
Tough double, eh? And there's jams everywhere.
8 to 10 feet off this, and let the brushers move it.
Anne's husband Don watching the action.
Pretty quick down here, eh? Is it the same?
Yeah, 8.5.
I talked to Anne during the game yesterday, and she said her husband hardly ever comes to watch her play, so she's really happy to see him here in Regina.
Yeah, I think he just flew in yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
T-line.
Tight line.
Close for line. Yep.
Room.
T to back forward.
Room, wait only. Line's good, hard.
Needs it.
Hard.
These are the rocks that cut. Look at that rock move over. She's just a little bit lighter, and she's by. Oh, she is just by. Oh, that's a great shot. Beautiful shot. Oh, boy, what a great shot. She put it in front of the tee line, half buried.
Still friggin' half open, though.
Great brushing by Frey McKnight.
What's that? May need a little more to get this out.
To get this out, can she save her shooter?
It depends how that rock reacts when Cathy Borst lets it go. Because if she throws any more weight on it, it'll run straight, and I say maybe even fall back a bit.
Same shot here.
Well, I told you earlier that Anne's rocks will move a little bit more because she's picked a couple stones that are a little curlier. So this will be a really tough shot for Alberta, because hers isn't going to move as much, I don't think.
Not only that, she's got to push that rock right across the rings. And if she just gets a quarter of it, that's very difficult. Even though the rings are lively, or the ice is keen, tough shot.
No, right off.
Same weight or a little more.
Right off.
Clean. Right off. Weight or a little more. Clean. Right off. Yes. Wow. Yes.
Oh, boy, she has got a beauty. Is she by?
Yes. Can she push it far enough?
Oh, what a great shot.
She does, and Alberta with a fine tap back by Cathy Borst with the final stone of N5 to the delight of her parents. Gord and June King of Winnipeg managed to get another deuce.
Thank you. Guys.
Oh, just unbelievable brushing. They squeeze it by in absolute perfect weight because she pushes the yellow rock belonging to Ontario just to the back of the 12-foot.
So it's a huge shot for Cathy Borst with the final stone of N5. And at the midpoint of this women's championship, Alberta leads by 3.
It's your turn to aim for the stars, see new places, or rediscover an old road. You're the reason we make the new 98 Windstar with all the comforts of a car, plus over 40 standard safety features. In fact, Windstar is the only minivan to earn 5 stars, the highest rating in U.S. government front-end crash tests. Like you, we aim high too. The new 98 Ford Windstar, created for the most important people in the world.
To? I'll just check my notebook. Stop! Follow that notebook! I'm not worried. Stop that! I can get it! Thank you.
Man, that thing's really taking a beating, huh?
No! No! My notebook!
Toshiba Notebook Computers.
Yes!
Tough enough for today's world.
In the news, excitement is growing over the new brake technology announced by Midas. When tested on yellow cabs in San Francisco, these new carbon metallic brake pads lasted 29% longer than ordinary brake pads. Cab owners are delighted. Since they'll be spending less on brake repairs, they can now afford to spruce up their fleets.
New performance friction carbon metallic brake pads, now at Midas.
Look at that. Next life, I'm a guy. Yeah, bad. This is the worst. I think I have a yeast infection. I've got one. Really? Yeah. I hate that. We're so lucky. I use this. Gynacure, a one-application treatment. One treatment works. How? One application keeps on working until the infection's gone. Only once? Unless you want to do more. No. Gynacure, one application, all the cure you need.
Since 1982, Scott's Paper has been the proud sponsor of the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
That's right, Gavin. Scott Towels has been there for the spills of victory.
And Scotties was there for the disappointments of defeat. Oh, that was a tough loss.
Here's Sandra Schmirler and the Scott product team practicing their winning form.
What great action! That Scott team really delivers.
That was great. As always, the Scott Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by this family of fine Scott Paper products.
Welcome back to Regina after 5 ends of this Scott Tournament of Hearts championship game. It's Cathy Borst of Alberta leading Anne Merklinger of Ontario by a score of 5-2. Let's look at Anne Merklinger's scoring summary. She had a steal of 1 in the first. In the fourth, a hit and roll for 1. And Anne in the fifth, a great draw just to the button, maybe another foot of weight, and you may have stolen another.
Oh, exactly, Mark. We just skinned around the top guards and another foot of weight, and we would have been in really good shape. But Cathy made a great shot for her, too.
Now, you're known as a curler who likes to play aggressively. That's the way this tone has been set for the first 5 ends.
Yes, and now that we're down 3 points, I'm sure you'll see a few more rocks in play. So we're looking forward to a really tough, aggressive second half.
Tell us about the second half. What do you have to do to get back in this?
Well, we've had some good heads going. I had a shot for 2 in the fourth, and we just needed it to finish a little more. So we'll continue to do exactly the same thing. Try and get a few more rocks in play and put some more pressure on Cathy, and maybe we'll get lucky.
One thing I've noticed about you and your rink, you've been awfully confident, showing no wear after 5.
Well, I mean, we've got nothing to lose at this point. You know, there's 3 ends to recover, 3 points to recover, and we'll just give it all we've got.
All right, Anne, good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Mark.
Anne Merklinger down 5-2 to Cathy Borst. For their thoughts, let's go to the booth, and here again are Don and Don.
Thank you, Mark. And yes, on that fifth end, Don, for about another foot of weight, it could be a 3-3 game after 5.
Well, that's right. 2 great shots. Anne made a beautiful draw because that's a very tricky spot. But Anne made a great shot. Cathy Borst made an outstanding shot, Don, because she had to have the correct weight, enough to push it through. She did. And she's capitalizing on her deuces. She's making them, and Merklinger's not. So it's going to be tough for Anne.
Well, we said at the outset that these 2 teams appeared to be ready for this championship game, and both have curled very well.
Well, they have. You know, they're 2 equal teams, but they're just shooting lights out, and it's not over yet. 3 down is not insurmountable, but Merklinger really has to get something going.
Well, Merklinger is capable of coming back, as she has displayed in other games. During round-robin competition, Borst won both battles, and she's looking to make it 3 in a row, and she's standing by with Mark.
Thanks, Don. And here's the scoring summary for Cathy Borst. A deuce in the second with a nice draw to the forefoot. A steal of 1 in the third on the Merklinger miss. And then that fantastic tap back to score the second deuce of the first 5 ends. Cathy, tell us about that shot in the fifth.
That was too close for comfort, let me tell you. I thought I could throw it the same as I did the first one, and we just watched it because the first one backed off, and the second one, it actually curled a lot more than we thought it was going to. But we're happy to see that 2 go up, that's for sure.
Now, Anne is known as, we talked to her about being an aggressive curler, but it's you making her play catch-up so far.
Well, I can tell you for the next 5 ends, she's going to be going hard, so we'll have to really be precise with our hits. And, you know, she's a fighter, she'll be back, so I know that we're going to have to play real good for the next 5 ends if we're going to beat this team.
You must be happy, Cathy, about the consistency of all 4 members of your rink here today.
Yeah, it's been great. I'm happy to see that. I know the last time we played them 2 days ago, we didn't shoot that well, so we said we got to come out here and shoot the lights out if we're going to beat Merklinger.
All right, Cathy, we look forward to an exciting second half. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Cathy Borst with a 5-2 lead over Anne Merklinger, and when we come back, the Team Canada issue. Is this the last time the defending champions are invited back to the Scott?
Retirement planning is really working with the client, finding out what the needs are, to know the dreams so that we have the right RSP for that client. That's how my team could make a real contribution.
Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
I'm on an all-night flight when suddenly, heartburn. The guy in the next seat says, "Here, try this, Zantac 75. Thanks, I say. You know, maybe I ought to see a doctor about this heartburn. He says, you just did.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer worldwide. Just 1 dose controls acid all day or all night.
Thanks, doctor, wherever you are.
New Zantac 75. All day or all night acid control.
Yes, it's boredom twitch syndrome. You're lucky. There's a new treatment.
Got boredom twitch syndrome? Get relief with Star Choice Digital Satellite Television. Over 90 channels of sports, movies, and entertainment, all with cinema quality picture and CD quality sound.
Hey! It's the Ottawa game! Thank you.
For a retailer in your community, call now. Finally, the choice is yours. Star Choice.
Since the Hendrick Racing Team started using Quaker State, they finished 1-2 in the '96 Winston Cup standings. Finished 1-2-3 this year at Daytona. And they've won at Rockingham, Bristol, Martinsville, and Charlotte. Which makes you wonder, is it in their blood or in their engines? Quaker State, the quality the Hendrick Racing Team demands, the quality your car deserves.
I've been through good times and bad times in the market. You know, the decisions and the advice I provide for my clients' RSPs are designed to protect their money. That's how I make my contribution.
Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
Casinos that come to you, gambling on the internet.
There's no regulation. You have no idea who's on the other side of a gambling website.
Welcome to Omni Casino.
Tuesday night at 8 on Marketplace.
I didn't win anything.
No, sorry.
It was one of Canada's finest hours. Or was it?
I thought that Ken Taylor had actually spirited these Americans out of Iran.
Did this Canadian really mastermind the daring rescue?
The CIA was certainly involved.
The National, Monday.
Vancouver, 1997. The Sandra Schmirler rink of Saskatchewan wins its 3rd Scott Tournament of Hearts. As defending champions, they received an automatic berth this year as the Team Canada entry in Regina. But this may be the last amid growing pressure to eliminate the Team Canada concept.
By taking away Team Canada, they're taking away a proven team that has won that event. And by adding, depending on where they add a team from, that might not make the field any stronger. And you want to have a strong field at the Scott Tournament of Hearts because that means for great shots, that means for great viewing, and it makes for a great event. So I think they have to be very careful as to where they add that second rep, because it might make the field weaker.
But there is another point of view, that having a Team Canada hurts regional representation. All of Yukon Northwest Territories, for example, has just one entry.
In terms of Team Canada as an entity, I think it's a great idea. We love the thought and the notion that you can take a team, put the Canada flag on it, promote it throughout the year. I think it's good for the sport, it's good for junior curling, it's good for a lot of reasons to have that entity, if you will. What I'd like to see, though, is not have the direct entry into the actual Scott Tournament of Hearts year over year. I think with the draw of 12 teams, allowing the Yukon and the Northwest Territories to have direct entry would enhance the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
But the curlers are not the only ones with a say in this matter. The title sponsor of the Women's Championship likes the Team Canada concept for its promotional value.
We'd be really disappointed to see the disappearance of Team Canada. I think it's two things need to be considered. The sport needs a star system. The other thing that we see as a big opportunity is Team Canada is a known personality to Canadians. So we can do consumer promotions with the face and the name of Team Canada to help raise money for curling, to help promote our own products, to use that person as a spokesperson throughout the year.
The matter will come to a head this spring when Canadian curling will settle an issue that pits marketing against equal representation.
Discussion comes right now as to, are we going to try and standardize and make those 12 teams the same for all 5 events? Or we're going to continue with a variation and basically who those 12 teams are going to be. And that's going to be discussed in great detail at the policy meetings in Winnipeg. And a decision comes out of there whether we're going to stay status quo, whether there's going to be a change, or exactly what's going to happen.
It's already regional. Sometimes we don't have the 12 best teams in Canada because it is already a provincial and a regional representation. So I think there has to be some input there from the curlers, from the athletes themselves, and not just the delegates that are assigned at the provincial level, because everybody wants to protect their best interests.
Joe McCusker, as Saskatchewan skip Cathy Trowell, her sister, a couple of sibling and curling rivals cleaning the ice here at the 5th end break.
Purex has gone to great lengths to give you a longer-lasting bathroom tissue. Purex Double Roll. With twice as many pillowy soft sheets on every roll, it takes forever to run out. Purex Double Roll. Pillowy softness that lasts twice as long.
Another Nokia discovery. Small words are hard to read, which is why at Nokia, we make wireless phones with screens that are big, so they're easier to read. Inspired technology with a human touch. Nokia. Connecting people.
When AT&T Canada started this Dime Time thing, I said to myself, Dime Boy, you gotta be a part of this. Call anyone in Canada, any evening, any weekend, for a dime or less. Who needs the phone? Dime Time someone you love, okay? I'm no hero. I'm just trying to get Canada talking. One dime at a time. New Dime Time, only from AT&T Canada.
This is Rob Christie, and here's one of my favorite cuts from the brand new party CD, Party Hard. It's Billy Idol and Moni Moni. And don't forget the party lines are open now.
Rob, we're at the Dogs, and our party is in trouble.
All right, fellas, let's go!
24 hits on 2 Party Hard CDs. This set of 2 CDs features original party hits by the original artists. These Party Hard hits are the nation's most requested party songs. Just hit play and watch your party come alive.
Just bust a move.
Take your party from park to high gear with Party Hard. The only party CDs you'll need. This party collection is it. Get Party Hard and watch your party take off. To get your party started, get Party Hard. Call now.
To order Party Hard, call 1-800-668-4502.
Back at the Agridome after 5 ends, it's Borst leading Merklinger 5-2 here in the final of the Scott Tournament of Hearts. And Sandra, you said right off the top of the program that the skips would be the determining factor in this game, and that's bearing out so far.
Well, Cathy Borst has just made some big shots this game, and Anna's close but just hasn't come up with the big one with her last shot to score those points, and I think that's the difference in the scoreboard.
Both teams really aggressive so far. What sort of advice might you give Anne in the second half?
Well, Anne doesn't need any advice to go aggressive because she plays that way all the time. She just has to play hard and keep making those shots.
And Cathy?
Cathy's going to want to try and keep things a little bit cleaner, but I think for Cathy, I think a good defense is going to be a strong offense.
All right, back to the booth, and here's Don and Don.
Well, Cathy Borst relinquished last rock advantage when she gave up the steal of 1 on and 1, but she has come back with deuces on ends 2 and 5 for her 5-2 lead. Further to the feature in the intermission regarding the discussion about Team Canada's future participation, I'm going to stir the pot even a little more, Mr. Duguid. I like Team Canada in the Scott, and I'd like to see Team Canada in the Brier as well.
I don't disagree with that. I certainly like the Team Canada concept in the Scott Tournament of Hearts because it's proved really beneficial for the crowds here with Sandra coming back, other teams as well. It's good for the sponsors, and I think the Brier, the same thing. I mean, and the reason I like it in the Brier is because the team that wins is usually committed to a lot of spiels, even going overseas, abroad, and playing in various bond spiels and everything else. So they don't get much time to practice and play in their own home country. So that's why I like the Brier people to come back.
I'm with you guys on this one. I think Team Canada has been a fabulous thing for our team. It developed us into a stronger team, which I think for curling in Canada was an excellent thing for the junior players to see our team develop over the years. So I would hate to see it go, and I think it should be incorporated in every championship that Canada has.
That's our editorial comment for the day. Now on with the match.
Go, Borst.
And you can see right off the opening rock, Cathy Borst wants to play in the ring. She feels she has enough points to win this game if she can score 1 with her last rock or 2. So she played her first rock in the rings. Of course, Anne Merklinger being down 3 points, needs to generate some offense, threw up a corner guard. Borst makes a good tap back with Kate Horn's rock. She's lying 2.
Back line. Yep.
Now for sure throughout this whole end, Ontario will try to get some kind of roll and cover behind guards or freeze to the rocks to generate 2 points.
Whoa. Back line. Whoa.
She cannot any longer afford to score 1 and have Alberta score 2 when they have last rock.
But this is where you run the danger with lots of rocks in play of the game getting away from you as well.
Oh, there's no question. And you see right away the danger rock for Alberta is that corner guard, and she's running it off right away. She wants to play in the ring. She doesn't want any rocks out in front.
Normal. Yep. 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 Hard. Hurry. Hurry. There you go, Bren.
Well, if you're wondering where her hometown of Balf, Alberta is, Brenda will quickly tell you it's about 120 kilometers southeast of Edmonton. Population 300, and I'm sure all are watching this afternoon.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
We should also say hello at this time to the hundreds of people we have heard from who are watching via satellite at various locations throughout the United States, picking up our CBC telecast via the Bird.
Real close.
Back 12.
Whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Hard. Right up. Right over, Roddy. Right over. Shot.
Shot, Patty.
And you'll see Anne Merklinger attacking here by just moving the rocks behind the tee line. Trying to generate some offense here. Hoping that Borst maybe jam a rock onto.
Even if you bonk it on the nose, that's okay. Okay.
There's a new expression, bonk it on the nose.
If she hits this quite a bit on the broom side of this stone, she actually can make the double. It's a tough one, but she can make it.
Last. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yeah. Hard. Hurry. Roll the shooter. Good shot.
She moves them around, but only removes one.
It's about the same.
That didn't turn out that great for Alberta. That yellow stone is partially covered by the red stone, and then there's another red stone in behind on the side of the yellow, and that's tough to get that one out. So Anne's just going to freeze to the side here.
Yep.
This is a good call because the rock is behind the tee line. She's going to get some kind of separation. The only danger here is that she maybe go back in such a position that she sets up a double.
Room. Easy.
But she's got to gamble for every rock here.
12. No. What? Back 12. Line's better. Back 8. Wait only. Got a curl still. Wait only. Right to it though. Whoa. What's she saying? I can't hear her.
She's nattering. Nice shot.
Nice way.
She's nattering. What's she saying? I can't hear. She's nattering.
Shots, Patty. This one, that's good too. What were you saying? To go for the red on the yellow. No, I like this. Normal. Normal? Yeah.
Yeah, this is really a percentage call as opposed to hitting the one that's partially behind cover. You may jam it onto the one that's in behind the port. But this is a conservative call, but a good call.
Little firm. Whoa!
This is that spot we've seen Anne flash one, and they don't cut very much here.
Well, she rolls her shooter and one of her own out of play, but most importantly, she got the Yellowstone out.
That's a really good shot by Heather. She actually got rid of all that stuff behind the tee line.
Yep.
And you knew if she was going to hit it on the nose, Anne was going to freeze to it, so that's a good shot to get rid of that.
Well, now, the other thing is they're playing in a very confined area where there's a lot of rocks in a short space, so there may be a chance for a setup of a double or running one back if Ontario doesn't put it in the correct position.
Eh? Yeah, just here. Top? Okay. So 12 foot.
And that was the concern expressed by Teresa Breen, that she might set up a double.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be long here.
This is a good call by Anne. Good aggressive call.
Over line.
Well, she has one in there, so she's pretty, with last rock, she's pretty well assured of getting two.
Right here, line.
And even if she doesn't corner freeze it, she protects the shot rock by stopping short.
Right to it, guys.
Come on, hurry.
Right up, line's perfect. Right up.
Hard.
Hurry, guys, hard.
Hard.
Nice shot. That's good.
Well,
It's light, eh?
they would have liked that a little bit tighter and corner frozen to take away this shot that Alberta's playing right now.
Yeah, that's not a great shot by Teresa there. It leaves the red onto the Yellowstone, and then Alberta will be in great shape if they make this.
And if they hit it right on the nose, they'll remove the Ontario rock and sit right there and be lying two.
Yeah! Easy hit! Hard! Hurry! Woo! Easy. Whoa! 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 Great shot.
Yes, indeed, that's a great shot. Alberta lies 3 with Heather Gotherson promoting one of her own back onto the shot stone.
Well, just a great shot, great control. You can see she hits it on the high side, but the big thing is it stays right there in front of the tee line, protected by the guard. So they're all over Ontario this end. They're making some fine shots. And for Ontario, they just can't seem to put the rock in the right position where they're going to score 2. So this is a huge shot for Teresa Breen.
Back 8. Tight line. Back 12.
Yep, for line.
Yep, line. Back 12. Hard line.
Room.
Room.
No.
Close. Yep.
No.
Whoa.
Back 12, back 8.
Shot. Shot.
Alberta's still lying 2.
Nice guard. Nice shot. Well, at least it moved it. So
this turn, eh?
Hmm?
You want to come
yeah,
to the face?
Yeah. It's not going to move very much, though.
Okay.
There.
Short's fine, eh?
Well,
this is
I got top 12 is all right.
Well, you heard her say top 12 is not bad right there. Even if she comes in here and kind of corner freezes it to that one, that's a great shot. She's lying to.
Top 8's probably the best. Top 12 is all right.
Top 12 or 8, that's where she wants to be.
This spot straightens out, so be careful. Okay.
She's trying to close off that side of the 4-foot. Lying to.
Whoa, whoa. Where are we? Where?
T.
Close.
Yeah.
Coming.
Whoa.
Hey,
T.
Go.
Lots of weight. Got a least T.
Whoa for line. Whoa.
Got bumper.
Whoa. Whoa. Sit. Whoa. No. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Sit.
Alberta now lies 3.
She just got a little bump off that one.
Yep.
Had she corner froze it, it would have been a great shot. It's still pretty good, but it does open the door for Ontario to play the tap on the center line one, and that's exactly what she's going to do.
Okay, right there.
Well, I don't think Anna has any other choice but to try. Sorry about that.
Guys.
She has to pull the rock in this general area here.
Wait the same.
I think she's playing a cold draw and ignoring the tap, but she has to get this rock in position.
Yeah, that one was only full 8, eh? So.
You heard her saying that was full 8.
Yeah, we need to be full 4 here.
Okay.
Huge shot. Absolutely huge. Because that 4-foot area is getting very congested, and the big thing, she has to bury this rock.
Room.
She can't afford to hit and stay in the open.
Where are we? Gotta be top 4.
Full 4. T.
Well, if you can. Wait only. Wait only, guys. Wait for it. Wait, wait, wait. Just top 4, easy.
T-line.
Nope, nope, nope. Yep. Nice weight.
Wait in.
Beautiful draw weight. But that rock never finished for her at all. She passed the guard maybe by an inch.
That's nice weight.
And it just wouldn't finish her for her because it's 9/10 open.
That's really surprising that that didn't cut in there, because yesterday she was just squeaking guards and getting everything by.
Yep.
So I'm surprised that didn't really finish harder. It was great weight on it, though.
Now Cathy Borst can just push this rock to the back 8-foot. Boy, it's going to be tough for Ontario to get in there and score a point.
Well, we talked earlier on this end about how when you be aggressive, it can sometimes backfire.
Well, that's what happens when you try to get back in the game. You throw up a lot of rocks hoping for a break. The other team doesn't let up. They make all great shots, and here you are. If she makes this one, they're lying for her.
Yep.
Oh, they got to go hard on this one.
Yeah.
There's a Yellowstone out front that they're concerned about.
Oh, she's close to the guard. Is she by it? Oh, it just rubs. Oh, that was so close.
She didn't have that much weight on it. She only had back 4. Had she had back line weight, she might have been able to hold that line a little bit better.
Yeah, she would have made it.
This is a huge break for Ontario. Anne needs to capitalize on this for sure.
Look at how much she gets. She just gets a corner of that rock. If she gets by, she's got a beauty.
So now there's an opportunity for Merklinger to get right back in the game. Down by 3.
Yeah. I mean, if we bump it, we don't hurt ourselves, right?
Yeah. Put it on the lid, guys.
Yeah. Let's do this.
You hear Ann Merklinger saying to Patty McKnight and Audrey Frey, okay, you guys, put it in the 4-foot. She's going to let it go. The sweepers are going to take it down the ice.
Well, she covered the nail hole with her last draw, so she knows the weight required.
DT, guys. Line's great.
Wait.
Full 4.
Wait only. Your judge. Sit.
Oh boy, they brushed that all the way pretty good. Oh no.
You guys.
Well, they brushed it all the way down the ice, and it's a little heavy. The result, only 1 for Ontario on this 6th end, and they still trail by 2.
The new 1998 Ford Taurus comes with many standard features. Dual airbags, power windows, air conditioning, and one thing that's always been standard: personality.
Another Nokia discovery. If technology is difficult to learn or program, most people won't. It's why at Nokia we make wireless phones that are easy to understand and operate with one-button scrolling and simple directions. Inspired technology with a human touch. Nokia. Connecting people.
Next. Another case of boredom twitch syndrome?
Nothing relieves boredom twitch syndrome like Star Choice Digital Satellite Television. Over 90 channels of movies, sports, and entertainment. All with cinema quality picture and CD quality sound.
Honey, our favorite movie! Oh, thank you.
For a retailer in your community, call now. Finally, the choice is yours. Star Choice.
It started with a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
The Canadian Curling Association appreciates, understands, and wishes to acknowledge the importance of local sponsorship to curling teams across Canada throughout the curling season. In an effort to recognize local corporate support of teams which have achieved the privilege of representing their province or territory at a Canadian Curling Championship, we are pleased to provide some deserving profile to their respective corporate supporter.
Merklinger was a touch heavy with her final draw attempt at the 6th end, but the brushers should have recognized it.
They really should have, you know. Watch it. She lets it go. They jump on it right away. And watch how far they brush this one. And they're just brushing it, not really hard, but they're still brushing it. Now they get into it, they're really starting to brush it hard, and all of a sudden at the hog line they decide, well, hold it, this has got lots of weight. They pick up their brushes halfway between the house and the hog, and by that time it's too late. They maybe should have kept on brushing and maybe come down to that other one and would have been shot rock. Second shot rock at least. So a little bit of a sweeping error there by the Ontario front end.
And that could prove to be costly throughout the rest of this game. That was a huge point for Ontario.
Well, you know, we said at the 5th end break that Alberta, when they have last rock, are making their shots to score the 2 points, and Merklinger is not. And unfortunately, there was another chance that she had, and you cannot afford to miss those extra points.
Missed opportunities often come back to haunt you.
Good job, guys.
Now she's got to put out all the stops. Ann Merklinger has to throw the rocks out in front and go around the center guard. And of course, Alberta feels they have enough points now. They're 2 up with last rock advantage. They're going to throw it over to the wings, hoping that Ontario will bite and hit this rock and maybe roll out, and then Ontario or Alberta will have a chance right off that center guard. That's why they're playing it over here on the open side.
I would be very surprised to see Ann Merklinger hit this stone right now.
Yeah.
Hi, girl.
She'll brush it back, but I think she'll go gambling. But if she's hitting it, see, this is not a good call.
This really surprises me, Don. She's 2 points down, playing the 7th end, and she's hitting a rock in the back of the house.
Yep.
If nothing else, I would either be throwing up her center guard or going around that center one.
Even if she hits and stays here, I can see Alberta just peeling off the center.
Yeah.
Guys, quick, read up.
A rock in the 12-foot is not going to hurt you
Good shot. Good job, guys.
at this stage of the game. Now,
You caught a glimpse of Frey glancing up. She isn't doing a crowd count. At one end of the Agridome, there is a huge television screen, and the curlers all week have been looking at the television screen for replays of their shots.
Great shot, Katie.
Kate Horn-Shooter hangs around. Alberta lies one.
now there's not much difference between the first call and the last call. And there you see the big jumbo screen.
Yeah, we got to control.
Did you try to use it to any advantage during the week, Sandra?
Well, only when they were showing our games on TV is when you could see it. But yeah, I think my front end was watching it more than I was and trying to get them back on the ice. But yeah, it was actually kind of nice to be able to see the shots of the different teams that were playing. And it was great for the crowd because they got to see those great replays.
Down. Okay, Patty.
Oh boy, here's an air ball.
I'm surprised by the call, Don.
No.
It's just not something that we see Anne be this defensive when she's 2 points down. I'm surprised she didn't go around the center, but
Okay.
now it gives Alberta a chance to peel that center guard off.
Well, we'll see what she does. If she peels it off, or it becomes very aggressive.
Well, what did I say? I guess a good defense is a strong offense, and she's going after it right here.
Well, if she scores 2 here, she really got Ontario in a big hole. The key, of course, for
Just child.
this shot is the fact that it must stay in front of the tee line, can't slip behind.
We're okay. Well, 8. No, it's coming down now. It's 12. Yep. 12. Come on. Just we're in. We're in. It's coming down. We're in. Don't want to be too deep. Great shot, Brenner. Forward.
Alberta lies 2.
Forward.
Yeah, the strategy on the part of Anne Merklinger on this 7th end is a little puzzling.
It really is. You know, she's down 2 points. She doesn't have the advantage of last rock. She's hitting rocks, biting in the back of the 12-foot when she's got a center guard. She may get out of this end if she gets a little bit of an inside roll here behind her guard.
Hard. Nice shot, Patty.
I definitely understand her thinking that she doesn't want to give up 2, but she's in a bit of a hole here, and she's got to generate some offense. I again am confused by Cathy's call by not peeling that center guard with Brenda's first stone. I know I certainly would have peeled that guard right away.
Well, that's the danger, Rock.
Lots of weight. Clean. Easy hit. Whoa. Whoa. Cleaning. Whoa. Clean. Clean. Oh. Sit. Sit.
Well, now we'll see what Ann plays here. She hits that one on the corner. Oh, boy.
Oh, you mean draw? 62.
Yeah, I think I tried to steal one here at 7. Hold him to 1 in the 8, steal 2 in the 9. Frey is trying to catch up with the Rock because she's over doing some house cleaning here. There she is.
She had to do a lot of running to catch up with that stone.
Nice shot.
Good shot is right.
That's not that easy to hit those ones way out there because it just doesn't cut very much. So you have to throw them right at the broom, and you can't flip those out at all.
Now, as conservative as Ann's playing here in this end, if Alberta hits and rolls out, I'll tell you what, Ann will go around that guard pretty quick. And if she makes a good shot, she'll probably say to herself, why didn't I do this before?
Full control. Full control. Full. Clean on. Whoa. Whoa. Got a 9.
Gabrielson is right on target.
Shot.
Now that the Rock is getting closer to the tee line, so rolling behind the center guard is getting to be a little bit easier all the time.
The winner winner of this championship will go on to represent Canada at the World Championships taking place in Kamloops, British Columbia, April the 4th to the 12th.
Get up, hard! Hard! Hard, guys, hard! Go, Patty, go!
Oh, boy.
It's all the little things, Don, that are
That's-
going on, not going Ontario's way right now, and they just overswept that. She had a pretty good shot coming in, and they overswept it, and it didn't stop behind the guard.
She said straightened up at the 8-foot. Good shot.
Yeah, they said it's straightened up at the 8, but you got to really be alert to play for the rolls, and it's just not working out for Ontario this particular end. But here's an aggressive call by Cathy Borst. She's going to saying to herself, well, if Anne's not going to go around the center guard, I will. I'll take my 2 points. I have last rock. And even if it doesn't work out, I have confidence that I can draw a full to the 4-foot to score my point.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
No line at all.
Got 8 foot to 4. Let it bend, guys. 8 foot only.
Leave it top 12.
8 foot only.
Top 12. Okay.
Nice weight, but no finish. She must have put it out there a little bit because it ran very, very straight, and she missed the guard by 1.5 feet.
We've seen that all game. I think if you take the in-turn coming around that guard, it definitely will cut in there, but the out-turn just doesn't seem to be moving hard by the guard.
What? Wouldn't go whatsoever. I must have set that back. Yeah, a little bit. Wasn't too bad, though.
You heard Heather say I might not put that back or set it back, meaning that she might have thrown it out to the broom as opposed to releasing it. Well, tough shot here for Ann Merklinger. She has to be very conscious that if she hits a half a rock, she may jam it on the one in the back. But she's looking for the inside roll.
No. Right off. Right off. Clean.
Weight's coming off.
Clean.
No, it's
right
got
off. Go, Patty, hard.
Patty.
Hard,
Really
Patty, hard. Shot, Ann.
They needed to catch the red rock a little more on the inside to slip behind the guard rock belonging to Ontario that is sitting out in front of the rings.
Almost. Nice shot. Well, I knew it would finish pretty good there, eh? If I was. Gotta wait. No, just hack. Hack.
Well, the thing for Cathy Borst here, if she hits this rock on the nose, she will not be shot rock, I don't think. And that'll allow Ann
Touch
Merklinger to
left
play
side.
the wide in-turn around it.
Yep.
Hard! Yeah!
Now, who's shot rock, do you think?
I think the redstone up at the top is shot.
I vote on the redstone up at the top.
Well, it's very
Shot.
interesting.
There. Sure? Yeah.
Heather Godberson said to Cathy, I believe she said,
Just taking a long time
that
to
they
come,
are
eh?
shot, referring to
You're the one that
Ontario.
went hard.
The overhead seemed to indicate that the red rock might have been shot. What do you think? Well, we can't really see the Yellowstone at the back.
It looks to me like the red one's in a little closer. Of course, red on the red rings makes a big difference than yellow on the red rings. Gives you a different perspective.
Sure you don't want a little more, maybe?
The players are looking at the big
I might need a
screen at the
little
back
more.
of the
Yeah.
Agridome just to find out.
Watching our replay.
Well, if Merklinger's shot rock, this is a huge draw for her. She wants to make sure she has enough ice to get around that guard. Not too many interns played down here.
T-line. Lots of line. Close. No, lots of line. We're off, guys. No, we got a curl. Whoa.
Starting to come off.
Close. Yep. Top 4.
Lots of weight.
Whoa. Weight only. Yep, top 4, yep. Hard!
Oh, what a good-looking shot.
Nice shot, Ann.
Beautiful shot. There's a corner open, but that's beautiful control draw wave by Ann Merklinger.
Like I mentioned, that intern yesterday came around those center guards just great, and that one did the same. It's a perfect shot by Ann.
Unpredictable. I knew we couldn't afford to crash. I had to show her part of it.
Yeah, actually, I like that better. That looks easier. Okay. Just play like back each. Yeah.
Well, Cathy Borst feels that this rock here, raise it into this area, is a better shot than coming around here. The beauty of it, this rock stopped in front of the tee line for Ann Merklinger, and that's why Cathy Borst has resorted to playing the out turn. This is a tough shot. But
she's made a couple of difficult shots in today's game. And she made some great shots during the week, and that's the reason she was atop the round-robin standings at 10-1.
Oh, they're brushing hard.
Has she got enough weight to push it back onto that stone? No. It's a steal of 1 for Ann Merklinger of Ontario. So with 3 ends remaining, 1 point separates these two teams.
I'm on an all-night flight when suddenly, heartburn. The guy in the next seat says, "Here, try this, Zantac 75. Thanks, I say. You know, maybe I ought to see a doctor about this heartburn. He says, you just did.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer worldwide. Just 1 dose controls acid all day or all night.
Thanks, doctor, wherever you are.
New Zantac 75, all day or all night acid control.
Since the Hendrick Racing team started using Quaker State, they finished 1-2 in the '96 Winston Cup standings. Finished 1-2-3 this year at Daytona. And they've won at Rockingham, Bristol, Martinsville, and Charlotte. Which makes you wonder, is it in their blood or in their engines? Quaker State, the quality the Hendrick Racing team demands, the quality your car deserves.
When back pain begins to cramp your style, ordinary pain relievers often aren't enough. Doctors and pharmacists recommend Robaxacet. It combines 2 active ingredients, one to relieve your back pain, the other to relax your tense back muscles. Now available in extra strength. Robaxacet, helping you walk away from back pain.
Ford Hot Shots, the skills competition of Canadian curling. At stake 3 prizes, a 1998 Ford Contour SE, 2 tickets on Canadian Airlines, and a Nokia cellular telephone. Each curler attempts 6 required shots with a maximum of 5 points awarded per shot. Kate Horn, Alberta's lead, finishing 2nd overall. And with this shot, New Brunswick's 2nd Allison Franey emerged as the best of them all here in Regina. A perfect double takeout.
Well, congratulations. I've been on behalf of the Ford dealers and Ford Motor Company. Good luck to you and good luck with
Thank you very much.
Allison Franey, the Ford hotshot, puts herself in the driver's seat of a 1998 Ford Contour SE.
Hi, everybody at home.
And she is celebrating her 23rd birthday today. What a way to celebrate with a brand new automobile. She might have problems driving it home. I wonder if the Trans-Canada Highway is open from the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border through to Brandon. For those of you in the other parts of the country who may not be aware, it's been about 3 days that highway has been closed because of a tremendous snowstorm that hit the area.
Well, the Ontario team have negotiated themselves into this game. It looked pretty bleak there for a couple of minutes, but a great draw by Ann Merklinger, and of course Cathy Borst just coming up maybe about a foot short of a raise.
Right here.
But they're back in the game, and I would think Ann would
Really tight.
try now to maybe steal another point. She's throwing the rock out in
Nice
front,
shot.
very tight to the rings.
I was a bit surprised the way Cathy Borst called that last end. She had a chance to peel that center guard, Don, and she never did it. And that's the one that came back to haunt her. So I was a bit surprised, but it put Ontario right back in the game.
Well, she
Mine's good.
it was her undoing, but if Godberson got her rock around in undercover, they might have scored to that end. But unfortunately, it stayed in the open, and Ann made a good shot with her first one.
I think a couple of things caught you both by surprise that end, the way Ontario played the end and the way Alberta countered.
Shot, Katie.
I thought Ontario would be the more aggressive one, and I thought Alberta would try to be more conservative, but it was kind of the other way around.
In that Ford hotshot competition, Kate Horn, the Alberta lead, was runner-up to Allison Franey. But she has another opportunity to maybe participate in the hotshot competition at the World Championships in Kamloops.
Whoa. No. Whoa, right off.
No.
Shot. Sweep in.
Go down.
Nice controlled take up by Audrey Frey. Really made that shot for her. Any heavier, she would have maybe slid right on by. And where she rolled to is a good spot because if Alberta hits and rolls out, I'm sure Ann Merklinger will go around that center guard.
Right off. Control. No, nothing.
Clean. Whoa.
Nothing.
Clean.
Whoa. Not even clean.
Whoa. Come on.
Right over, Bryn. Right over.
Whoa,
Right
whoa.
over. Right over.
Whoa.
Right over.
You can it off. Shot, Katie.
Job.
That's what you call a sweeper's delight. Didn't have a little layup brush to it all the way down.
Forward.
Little up.
Clean.
Forward. Little up. Oh. Control. Oh.
Stay with it, guys. Stay with it.
Shot.
Those looked up compared to yours.
Yeah, forward weight.
This part of the ice runs very, very straight. Nice board weight on it. We'll just run it absolutely straight down the line. You can't afford to turn it in or it may move on you.
Hurry! Let's clean. Clean. Clean.
This has been quite a year for the Cathy Borst rink. They've played about 130 games to get to this stage of the season, winning $25,400 in cash spiels. They've got one more cash spiel upcoming. That's taking place in North Battleford, Saskatchewan.
Well, while they finished with the 5-4 record in the Brandon trials, they did win. I happened to watch the Telus cash spiel in Red Deer, Alberta, and they won all the money there, $13,000.
Whoa. Okay.
Rubbing the stone out front. Alberta still lies one.
Maybe a little bit quieter than she wanted to throw. Just moved a bit.
That is a big turnaround shot in this end. The eighth end is kind of a critical end for teams, and I think Cathy Borst just want to make sure she doesn't give up a steal here, and that center guard was kind of stopping her from making a clean end of this, and now she's hitting to lay two.
Clean. No.
Well, they better hope this one does some curling.
Move, Bryn. Come on. Bounce. No, no.
Well, she saves her shooter, but not in that position. That isn't where they wanted to be.
No, they wanted to hit and stay right there, but You know, if Cathy Borst scores one here, she's 2 up playing the 9. She doesn't mind giving up maybe a deuce or one at the 9th end to retain advantage of last rock.
Want to go this way?
I always like keeping control of that last rock for the last
Well,
end.
I gotta. Okay. Okay. Normal. Normal. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Got to hit it on the high side to make the double.
Hard. Ready.
And she does.
Teresa's played a really good game today, and that's just another sign that she's just really hot today.
Well, you'll see she makes good contact with it. Lively rings. And you'll see Patty McKnight. Johnny wrote the note there, sweeping it out of the rings.
Teresa's at 82% to this stage of this match.
Yes. Wow. Yes. Middle roll. Hard, Brenner. Hard. Your way. Yeah.
And Gottberson is at 86%, so quite a battle at third stone.
That's excellent curling.
Move it around.
Absolutely right. Change position of the rocks. Move it around. Put it in a spot maybe where the other third will just flare it a bit.
Whoa, whoa, right off.
Miss. Roll out.
Whoa, right off. Just control. Whoa, clean. Whoa, not good. Okay, clean. Nice shot. Nice shot.
Right now, a straight exchange of rocks.
Very simple, very wide open, and Cathy Borst is not unhappy about this.
No, she'd be happy about it being wide open on the 8th end because she doesn't want to get into any more trouble, and if she scores one here, that's not a bad thing.
No.
Whoa, whoa. Hard. Go, go, go. Shot.
And good shooting by Heather Godfredson, moving the rocks around. First, rolling to the board side and then rolling in towards the center. And the rock sits right on the center line. Very simple routine takeout for Ann Merklinger. A dog with a note could make this shot. Do you think a dog with a note?
That's a new one.
I haven't heard that.
No.
Explain it to me.
That must be a Dugan family line.
Very simple shot. It's on the center line. Ice is straight. So normal takeout weight. A dog could throw it.
Clean. Control. Clean all the way. Yep. 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 Clean. Clean. Your way of hair, Audie. Shot it. Shot it.
Well, we have 3 stones remaining on this 8th end. And I'm going to ask both Dawn and Sandra, if you were skipping and you were in Cathy Borst's position here, with your last stone, would you try and hit to roll out, or would you take the point?
Touch last.
Well, I think I would hit roll out, keep advantage of last rock, be 1 up, as opposed to 2 up without last rock, but that's my preference.
I would just want to hear something go clunk.
And if it stayed in the rings, you wouldn't be unhappy, eh?
No, if we stay in, I wouldn't be unhappy. If we blank it, I wouldn't be unhappy, but I just want to hear something go clunk.
Yep. Roll the other way. Clean. Clean. Other way. Clean. Your way a little bit, Brennan.
Well, there's 1 clunk for Cathy Borst.
Nice straight. Okay, that's good, guys. Shooting Cat.
In 1977 and 78, she won the Canadian Junior Championship, known as Cathy King, her maiden
on this
name.
side. I might have to play the intern.
Well, the big thing about these takeouts is that you don't want to overthrow them. Just stay within yourself. Your normal takeout weight, your normal swing in your delivery. Get in behind the rock and just let release it. Don't start fooling with the curling rock. Let it go clean.
Clean. Same weight. Clean. Yep. Yep. Your way, Patty. Nice shot.
A 5-4 game with the final stone to come on this 8th end.
I'm sure Cathy Borst will want to blank this 8th end and take Hammer into 9. I'm pretty sure that's what the plan is.
The only other woman who, as a skip, won the Canadian Junior Championship and then went on to win
All the way.
the Canadian Women's Championship is Allison Goring.
Okay, whoa. Okay.
Cathy Borst has a nose hit. She is going to score a single point on end number 8. So with 2 ends remaining, Alberta leads Ontario by 2.
Tied on, yeah, sorry.
Since 1982, Scott Paper has been the proud sponsor of the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
That's right, Gavin. Scott Towels has been there for the spills of victory.
And Scotties was there for the disappointments of defeat. Oh, that was a tough loss.
Here's Sandra Schmirler and the Scott product team practicing their winning form.
What great action! That Scott team really delivers.
That was great. As always, the Scott Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by this family of fine Scott Paper products.
When AT&T Canada started this Dime Time thing, I said to myself, Dime Boy, you gotta be a part of this. Call anyone in Canada, any evening, any weekend, for a dime or less. Who needs the phone? Dime Time, someone you love, okay? I'm no hero. I'm just trying to get Canada talking. One dime at a time. New Dime Time, only from AT&T Canada.
Yes, it's boredom twitch syndrome. You're lucky. There's a new treatment.
Got boredom twitch syndrome? Get relief with Star Choice Digital Satellite Television. Over 90 channels of sports, movies, and entertainment, all with cinema quality picture and CD quality sound.
Hey! It's the Ottawa game! Thank you.
For a retailer in your community, call now. Finally, the choice is yours. Star Choice.
A whole lot can happen out of the blue. Labatt Blue.
You know the kind of things that can give you a delightful thrill. So do we. The new restyled 1998 Mercury Mystique. Imagine yourself in a Mercury.
Welcome back to the Agridome. And how many sports do you see this? A close battle for the final of the Scott and the 2 skips, Cathy Borst and Merklinger, turning on the crowd with the Macarena. And for folks who didn't quite catch all of this great final, we'll have an encore presentation of the Scott Tournament of Hearts Championship Final. Late tonight, check your local listings across Canada. And of course, CBC Championship Curling makes its way to Winnipeg for the Labatt Brier, the semifinal on the 14th at 2:30 Eastern, and then the final on Sunday at 1:30 Eastern. Of course, Don Duguid will be the honorary chairman, and a fitting title because, Don, the last time the Brier was in Winnipeg, you were the champ.
Yes, it was a great week in Winnipeg, 1970, and it's going to be a great week for the Brier in Winnipeg.
Actually, he's got a triple assignment in Winnipeg. He's the honorary chairman. He's the analyst on our telecast, and he's also going to be the Brier Bear. He won't need the entire costume for that role, though.
And his son Dale, of course, will be wearing Manitoba colors.
Yeah, quadruple role, I guess we could say. He'll be doing a little cheerleading for Dale as well. That would be something if Dale were to follow in his father's footsteps.
Well, you know, Mrs. Dugan's been flying the 1970 flag outside our house for about 3 weeks now, and it paid off because Dale made it into the Briars, so we're excited about it. We're looking for a great week.
And Dale's been knocking at the door of Manitoba for a few years now, so it's nice to hear that he finally made it.
Thank you, Sandra. I know he appreciates that.
A 2-point game here in this Scott Tournament of Hearts final. Alberta leading Ontario by a score of 6-4.
That guard slipped into the rings, and that is just not a good shot by Ontario's Audrey Fry. She's not going to be happy with that. They needed that guard out front.
That's right. That's the setup shot. That's probably the most important rock of the whole end, other than maybe the final rock. You have to put it out in front.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. Whoa, yep. Whoa. Whoa.
But then again, if the opposing lead misses, you may get away with it. And that's exactly what's happened.
Kate Horn struggled early in the game, then seemed to get her game back, but that could be a costly miss.
There haven't been a lot of open misses in this game, and we've seen two with the rock on the corner guard call going into the rings, and then a flash of an open hit. So maybe the pressure.
I think Ann's got to ignore those rocks in the house. Throw up a corner guard. Let Alberta make a play on it. They may jam it.
What? Back 8? No, T-line's good. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, T, you like that better than the corner? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, right here.
Well, we're at the stage of the match where every shot now is so critical.
Well, it really is. You know, you want to make sure you put your second in position to make a good shot, and the third, and leave it as simple and as uncomplicated as possible for your skip. So,
back here, 8 foot.
you know, you want to make your shots.
Right back. Gotta go hard. Hard. Whoa, then whoa, leave it up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. That's fine. That's fine. Nope.
Well, they wanted it short with their first one. She went in. They want this one in, and she's short. So, if you're a scorekeeper, I wonder how many points you give her. Maybe 4 out of a possible 8.
That's good.
See, and this is why I like the corner guard, because Cathy Borst is going to have to make a play on that yellow one. She may jam it. And if she hits and rolls out,
Control. Clean. Nice way.
Ontario may freeze the one behind the tee line.
Clean it. Clean. Oh, we're rolling out. Sit. Sit.
Imploring the shooter to sit, but it rolls out of play. And now Ann Merklinger has decided to draw down to that red rock.
Draw that she threw. That we had to sweep it to.
Well, she's just kind of setting the table here to score her 2 points. She has the corner guard up. She's got a rock belonging to the opposing team behind the tee line. She's going to pull a freeze, hoping that Ontario jams or Alberta jams, and then maybe go around the corner guard.
Good. Right to it, guys. T-line. Wait only. Well, if you can. Close for line. Yep. No, yep. Floor. Room. Whoa. No, Waits there. No, no. No bounce. Waits there. No. No, no. No.
They don't want to bounce.
You can hear Audrey just pleading with it to stop.
Yeah, tippy-toeing down beside it.
Take them both out. Same weight, normal. Was that control? Did you throw? Control. That was control. Throw normal.
Now the difference between control and normal.
Normal weight for running off guards may be a little bit stronger than control weight. Not much, but a little bit more.
No. Up normal. Leaning. Yep.
You hear her say up normal.
Whoa. Yep.
That means a little bit heavier than their normal takeout weight.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back. Great shot.
That's what she wanted Bomer to do, and the grain farmer from Borst responds.
Nice shot, Brennan.
Now there's a corner guard up.
Is it so straight?
And Ann Merklinger could go around that corner guard and set up her deuce this way. But what she's doing, she's throwing up another corner guard, making Alberta waste 1 or 2 more rocks, and then she'll go around either with Teresa Breen's last rock or Merklinger's first rock.
Right here.
She's just throwing this corner guard up to make Alberta waste rocks. trying to run them off.
Pair him up. Nice shot.
She said to the brushers, pair them up. She didn't want the stones at an angle where a double was possible.
Backed it up.
And it was important for Godberson to roll her shooter out of play.
That's right, because if she had a hit and stayed there, they would have gone around the corner guard right away. Now Ann's going to throw up another corner guard with Breen's first rock.
The one problem with these corners is that it just doesn't seem to bury really hard around those corners going to the wings, and that's tough for Ann. She's in a tough spot because that's the call to make, but it's really difficult to get those rocks buried behind those corner guards.
Yeah, you have to pick a spot in the ice where there's a little bit of curl or a little bit of finish to the rock. If you put a rock on the side where it doesn't bend around it, there's no sense in throwing it up. So you're right, Sandra.
That's good. Nice
it's
shot.
a tough thing for Ann Merklinger.
Nice weight. No. Normal. Less weight. Whoa. No, same. Normal. Normal. Yep. Yes. Yes. Up. Clean. 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 Throw.
Now watch Ann Merklinger go around that corner guard.
Good throws, Heather. Not a girl.
Now the tough thing for Ontario, will it finish at the end? See the brush being held right on center ice. Teresa Breen.
8 foot. Line's good. Line's good. Room. Lots of line. Room. Wall line. Where are ya? 8 foot to
Wall
tee.
line.
Wall line.
It's not moving at all.
Big time. Back eight's not all bad.
Whoa, let it curl. Let it
way
work.
back now. Yep, way back. Way back, guys.
They seem to get to that 4-foot line, and then you can just see it just goes straight, and there is no finish. So it's really difficult to get around those. I'm not even sure you can, Don.
Well, that's why they should maybe swept it deeper and got it behind the tee line. At least if they hit it on the nose, you'd be able to freeze to it.
Was that the case all week, Sandra, where you had more movement going into the rings than going to the wings?
Pretty much so. It would hit that 4-foot band, and it just would just sit there. I know that Ann, when we played her and throughout the week, she was throwing those corner guards, and they were guarding just about full 4-foot, because then you can get them around. But in the spot that guard's in, it's really difficult to get it around there.
I guess the only way you can get it in there maybe is raise the guard.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Soft control. Yeah. Soft. Hard. Soft. Hard. Yeah. Hard. Well, yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah.
Heather Godberson wants to roll this rock. Good shot. That's a great shot. By rolling over there, she's taken the play completely away from that corner guard.
Post control.
Ann's got to freeze to this now and try and generate the deuce, and maybe Cathy will blast everything out of there and give Ann a chance to blank.
Sandra, with all due respect, I'm not quite sure who yells more, you or Heather Godberson.
Gee, thanks, Don. I just want to make sure they're listening.
Touch more, T-Bird. Yeah, more yet. Yeah, I'm coming across the line. Yeah.
And just taking a little bit more ice. She feels that once her rock gets to that center line, it'll curl more.
Wait only.
T-line. Okay, line's good. Wait only. Weight's good. It's gonna
Whoa.
tap it a little. Okay, well then.
No. Line's good.
No. Line's great. Just to it. No. Line's still good. No. Yep, no. Line now. We got to. Hard.
Yeah, it's curling across the face of it.
Okay.
Pretty good, though.
That was funny, eh? Shot.
at this point in the game, it's tough on the families watching, and man, these players are going through some gut-wrenching stuff right now. It's difficult, and they just got to stick through it. It's so nerve-wracking.
It doesn't back up to it.
Normal.
Yeah. Yeah, if we could have left it. Sweep it.
Normal.
You heard Cathy Borst say normal up, which means she's going to throw a little bit more than her normal takeout weight.
Normal up, feel.
There's a danger here that she could jam that Yellowstone back onto her own.
Quick, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa.
But she makes the shot perfectly. She wanted to save her shooter.
Okay, Sandra, would you sooner be 2 down coming home with last rock, or 1 down coming home without?
I'd keep the hammer, Don.
Absolutely.
You never know what can happen. 3 balls sometimes sneak up, so I definitely would keep the hammer.
Yeah, I like keeping that last rock.
Yeah, I know. That was 2.
Throw caution to the wind in the last end. Try to score 2. Make sure you score 2 to tie the game, but
Yeah, you talk about 3s in the last end sneaking up.
What do you guys think?
Remember 1981,
Too
the
far,
Brier
Well,
in Halifax, where
yes.
Carrie
It's about
Burtnick
here.
scored 3 on the 10th?
They're actually talking about the split of a Yellowstone that's off to the side
Do you think it's too far, the split?
to try and get the deuce.
well, I don't think there's enough room on the 12-foot to get it in. She'd have to really hit almost half a rock to drive it into the rings, and I don't know whether she'd get enough action on her shooter to get it in there, so she's elected to toss this one through.
Well, and it's risky because then
Yep.
you might end up taking 1, and that's not the position you want to be in.
So Ann Merklinger retains last rock advantage into the final end, trailing by 2 in this 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts.
The power of champions. Champions are made through consistent performance in good times and under pressure. On their triumphant return home, SAS Power congratulates the Schmirler team for its gold medal performance in Japan. SAS Power, proud sponsor of World Champions.
Beyond the glitter to a larger dream, a dream called Canada.
You're awaiting life and
Your loving and devoted husband, Wilfred. When you never forget where you came from, you can see more clearly where you're going. As in the past, CIBC will continue to play a pioneering role by investing in Canada's vision of the future.
Hi, CIBC. How may I help you?
Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
Introducing 8 hours of fever relief. New Children's Advil.
A tough cold isn't just up here. Your sinuses are congested too. That's why there's Advil Cold and Sinus for congestion. It's tough on colds like Advil is on pain, and now it's available without a prescription.
Advil Cold and Sinus, today's relief for tough cold.
In the news, excitement is growing over the new brake technology announced by Midas. When tested on yellow cabs in San Francisco, these new carbon metallic brake pads lasted 29% longer than ordinary brake pads. Cab owners are delighted. Since they'll be spending less on brake repairs, they can now afford to spruce up their fleets.
New performance friction carbon metallic brake pads, now at Midas.
Full slate next Saturday on Molson Hockey Night in Canada, beginning at 7 Eastern with Buffalo at Montreal. Then we've got Calgary, the Flames in Ottawa to play the Senators. And right after that, Edmonton at Toronto. Check your local listings on the opener. In the nightcap, Tampa Bay in Vancouver to play the Canucks. All 6 Canadian teams in action next Saturday night on Molson Hockey Night in Canada. And there's the silverware laid out here at the Agridome. It's Borst leading Merklinger 6-4 as we head to the 10th end.
Keeper trophies, replicas of the championship trophy that is presented to the winning team. Both Cathy Borst and Ann Merklinger looking to engrave their names on that trophy for the first time in its 18th year of existence.
And we've got 3 of those, and they sit so proudly on top of my piano at home. I'm really proud of them, and they're beautiful trophies.
And that's a very big shot for Alberta. Kate Horn putting it right on the forefoot in front of the tee line.
Hanging, which was indicating.
Now for Merklinger, she's going to throw up a corner guard.
And you'll see the ice she's taking is on the other side of center line of where she wants to guard. That tells me that she's going to try and put this rock guarding more of the forefoot than the last end, because she knows they won't cut around the guards that are on the other side of that 4-foot band.
That's it. Nice shot, Audie.
That guard is in a good spot. They should be able to get something around that.
Yep. Well, I watched it very closely. From the hog line in, it curled about 8 inches, and with good draw weight to the forefoot, they should bury it.
Not even going to try the tick shot on this one. They're just going to throw it right through.
Well, Ann's going to attempt the freeze. She has a corner guard up.
Just to it.
I know that if she makes the perfect freeze, that Cathy Borst will run that guard off. Because that's the danger rock. She doesn't want to fool around trying to come around rocks that are out in front of the ring. She wants to play in the rings, Cathy Borst. She's got control. She's 2 up.
Well, line if you can.
Yep, line.
Wait.
Defensing, trying to hold Ann Merklinger to 1.
Wait.
Wait only. Boom. Line's real good.
I think it needs it. Needs it. Wait.
Just to it. No bounce.
Needs it. Yep.
Right up to it. Hard. Hard. Right up hard. Nice shot.
Comes up just a little short of the stone. But you know, when Ann Merklinger reflects back on this game, if she is not successful in overhauling Cathy Borst, the 7th end where she had the opportunity to draw for 2 and it was misswept.
Yes.
That may be the difference in this game.
Yes! Hard! Hurry! Hard! Oh!
She doesn't want to have any rocks out in front of them. This is what's going to happen. She may end up. Go by. Worst case scenario.
Hey, Brenner.
Things are really shaping up okay for Ontario to score 2 here.
Okay.
Well, that's right. Now they got one partially frozen to the shot rock belonging to Alberta, and they've got a corner guard up.
So back 12-ish. Back 12, back 8-ish. We just need a little separation, eh? Okay, so back 12.
They want to keep that red rock in play because that's another stone that's going to help Ontario and hurt Alberta.
Yeah,
that's why they're not throwing enough weight to remove it totally from the rings.
Yeah, the more rocks in play, the better it is for Ann Merklinger. So they're just playing a little bit of a bump, back 8. Build up a little bit of a wall or a fence back there as a last resort. Maybe they can freeze to them to score their 2 points.
T-line, back 4.
Third line.
T-line, back 4.
Whoa, room, how much?
Back 8.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Close, yep. Hard!
8, back 12.
Hard! Shoot her hard!
A little bit stronger than they wanted. They wanted to save that red one at the back somewhere.
And she didn't get a very good break on where her shooter ended up. That double is a nose hit double. It's not that tough. That was kind of a bad break for Ontario.
Boehmer could really remove Alberta from An end that is not developing favorably for them with a double here.
Whoa.
She's going to make the double. She's going to make it the high side.
Okay. Okay.
Seems like the brakes are swinging back and forth with
Right
each
over
shot.
here.
Nothing in this end is really going perfect. So it's going to take one break here or there to solidify the deuce for Anne.
Well, the problem that Anne's got, she'd like to go in around that corner guard again, but
this way, but then we just set up a double, eh?
if she goes in behind it, you're right, she's going to set up the double. So she's going to play a percentage shot here, throw it to the open side.
Yeah, your option will be short though, so.
You know, she could come down on the intern side and maybe just hit that rock a little bit on the inside and roll behind cover. But she's got the two set up now for the tie.
Back eight's good. Back here.
Running on you, running pretty straight.
Careful, have a look. Back here, you're right. Back here, back eight.
T-line.
Way back. All the way back.
That's good. It's good. It's
Whoa,
good.
Well, it's well back there.
That's good. Nice shot.
Shot.
That's a good shot because they're really staggered.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially if Alberta hits this on the nose, you'll see Anne freeze right to the
Absolutely.
face of it. So that is a good shot, good sweeping to get it right out of the 8-foot to the back of the 12-foot there.
And this call by Alberta, they're almost conceding a score of 2 here by playing this wide open one, as opposed to taking a chance and hitting the one on the center line.
Shot.
They know exactly what Ontario will do if they hit and stay there. They know they're going to freeze, and that makes getting the rocks
Same
out
shot.
tougher. So
Same shot, she'll put it in the same
Back
spot.
eight's good, TB. Where?
I kind of got the fast pad. Okay. Hurry, guys.
Need help?
Yep. Yep. All right, guys.
They want it deep. They don't want it up on the high side of the 12-foot. Well, they wanted a little deeper than that because there is a possibility of a double here.
And that's what Borst is taking a look at.
Yes! Oh, whoa, whoa.
She's got one. Oh, she just rolls by the other stone.
Boy, I think Heather Godberson got away with one there. As soon as she let it go out of her hand, they yelled. And boy, she's trying to coax that rock over to hit it a little bit thinner, make the double.
The application of a little body movement maybe helped.
you can see Anne is taking the out turn here for Teresa, and that's because it'll come off hard off the hill and should be able to bury directly behind that guard.
Line's good.
Close for line.
Close line.
Room.
Wait only. Where are you?
Have a look. This front ring.
Wait only.
Have a look.
They're yelling front ring, which means they're going to have to go hard on this one.
I think it's just front ring, eh?
Top four. Yep. Oh, all right. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think
It's
that
hit.
grabs something
Absolutely.
for sure. That is a huge break for Ontario. Huge break.
You heard her say it picked because it went sideways.
Nice pick.
Nice pick is right. Watch this rock. They lift their brushes. Look at it.
Jeez.
They're right there, right in front of the rock. It made a
Scary, eh?
huge move. Look, you can see it still spinning.
The only problem with that, it is directly behind the guard, but it isn't really deep enough for Anne to go there again, and I think that's what she's a little concerned about, because she had a
gotta
chance
roll it
maybe
in for a
possibly to
second.
score 3 this end if that rock was a little bit deeper.
Not much.
Well, I think if Cathy Borst hits and rolls out, I think she'll play exactly the same shot. Hope to get it just in front of the tee line in the 4-foot, around the one that just ended up there.
Cathy's father, Gord, taking a closer look at the situation with the binoculars.
No.
Clean.
No.
Whoa, clean.
Roxy, a little firm.
Whoa. Whoa. Clean. Clean. Yep. Yep.
Whoa.
Clean. Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, I don't want to roll too far. Great shot.
It is a good shot. But it's also a good shot for Ontario because now Ann Merklinger can hit that one and roll behind cover again.
88.
Now, if you really want to be aggressive, you can play the inside roll. If you want to play for the tie, hit and maybe roll to the right-hand side.
Just gotta move it now, at least.
I'd be hitting and rolling right behind that rock Yellowstone that's in the top of the 8-foot.
It's exactly where you want to roll to. If you're going to win the game.
Could go under.
You don't think she's thinking of coming around?
Don Mitchie, Ann's husband, and Coach Jim Waite looking on intently.
Call time.
2 timeouts permitted, and Ann Merklinger is calling her second.
I think you'll see Jim Waite come down and say, oh, go for it. Hit it and roll behind the guard.
I think you have to do that,
Absolutely.
Don. It's the draw might be tough, but I think the hit and roll is a great opportunity to score your 3 here.
Well, you know, Sandra, especially when you say that out-turn run so very straight.
She has to throw really quiet.
Even if she rolls out, how does she get that one behind the guard? It's a pretty tough shot.
That's exactly right. You work hard on this roll and you go for it, and it's really tough to get that Yellowstone out
What do you
anyway.
like there? The hit and roll under, or the hit and roll high, or the bump?
It's higher than I'd like you to come around this way. But I don't think so. I think you can't leave it, because if you do leave it and they make a good shot, then you got no chance at your deuce.
Yeah, no, we got to play this.
Play the hit
and roll under.
But we can't roll out, so we gotta have quiet weight, like board.
Just control, whatever.
Your control. Hit that hit and roll, and you may get your 3.
You like that better than going here, eh?
Do you like that?
Perfect. Jimmy's got it cased.
If we roll this way, though, Jim, where will she go?
She'll hit it.
Okay.
So just control the ship.
Okay.
Well, she hasn't got much there, though.
Well, if we go right here, Patty.
I think the remark that the coach made Jim Wade is so appropriate. He said, look, just play your control weight. If you hit and roll behind the cover, you're going to get your 3. You're going to win this game.
Well, you have the possibility of getting 2.
Yes.
Might need a touch more, TB. Yeah, it'll go hard on me.
Well, big call here for Teresa Breen holding the brush. She's going to have to make the call when that rock starts to break. She can't afford to hit and sit in the open.
That's a beauty. Not quite enough.
Oh, she needed just a hair less of that rock, and she had a beauty.
Well, Alberta has to be considering themselves very fortunate that Ann didn't make that shot, because she has a 3-ball setup if she makes that roll.
Absolutely. That was so close to being perfect.
Control weight. Okay.
So Cathy just has to make sure she gets one of these out here, and it looks like Ontario's going to get the deuce, so she just has to make sure she removes one of those Yellowstones.
Yep.
Just 2 rocks to be played on this 10th end. This is the final stone for Cathy Borst. She leads by 2.
It's a little up. Normal. Up.
She threw a heater on this one, I'll tell you that.
Up.
She's going to get it, but just a corner of it.
Shot, Cath. Good job.
So will we have an extra end, or will Cathy Borst be crowned Canadian Women's Champion for 1998? It's all in the hands of Ann Merklinger now.
That's the best we can do.
And also in the hands of Audrey Frey and Patty McKnight. As soon as Ann Merklinger lets this rock go, they'll decide what kind of weight she has. And they'll make a decision. If she's light, they'll jump on it right away. They'll start sweeping right away and then make a decision if she's got the correct weight or whether she's heavy or light.
Just take your time, man. You got lots of time. T-line!
Your judge, guys. T-line.
Immediately, the sweepers yelled T-line, indicating they were happy with the weight. And Merklinger is happy with the weight. And this championship game is going to an extra end. Ontario and Alberta deadlocked at 6 through 10 ends of play. The Canadian champion will be crowned when we return.
Jeez, the finishes are terrible, right?
Next, another case of boredom twitch syndrome.
Nothing relieves boredom twitch syndrome like Star Choice digital satellite television. Over 90 channels of movies, sports, and entertainment. All with cinema quality picture and CD quality sound.
Honey, our favorite movie! Oh, thank you.
For a retailer in your community, call now. Finally, the choice is yours. Star Choice.
Your car is a high-precision instrument. Take it to AutoPro. With qualified personnel and state-of-the-art equipment, it's the expert on brakes, front-wheel drive, steering, suspension, and mufflers. All protected by AutoPro's national warranty. AutoPro, the largest network of car care professionals.
Look at that. Next life, I'm a guy. Yeah, bad. This is the worst. I think I have a yeast infection. I've got one. Really? Yeah. I hate that. We're so lucky. I use this. Gynacure, a one-application treatment. One treatment works. How? One application keeps on working until the infection's gone. Only once? Unless you want to do more. No.
Gynacure, one application, all the cure you need.
When AT&T Canada started this Dime Time thing, I said to myself, Dime Boy, you gotta be a part of this. Call anyone in Canada, any evening, any weekend, for a dime or less. Who needs the phone? Dime Time someone you love, okay? I'm no hero. I'm just trying to get Canada talking. One dime at a time. New Dime Time, only from AT&T Canada.
Some of us thrive in wet situations. Scott towels are no exception. Thirsty Scott towels are so absorbent and strong you can trust them to soak up quickly, which is a good thing. For most of us. Scott towels, always thirsty for more.
Back in Regina, a reminder that we will give you an encore presentation of today's Scott Tournament of Hearts Championship final, and what a game it is shaping up to be as we head to extra ends. And then the primetime lineup on CBC television will feature the network television premiere of Pocahontas, as well as the Gemini Awards on a star-studded evening on CBC television.
And on this star-studded afternoon here at the Agridome in Regina, some excellent shot making by both teams, going to an extra end in a 6-6 tie. Alberta and Ontario attempting to decide this Canadian Women's Curling Championship. Both sides have been close before. In 1995, Cathy Borst lost the final to Connie Laliberty. She was a semifinalist in 1997. In 1993, Merklinger was a semifinal loser at the Canadian Championships.
A lot of pressure on that first rock at the end to make sure it's in the free guard zone. It looks like Audrey's got it perfect.
Yeah, it's the most important rock of this end. It has to be out in front, and that's exactly where she put it.
Had something under it, so
And that's not in on that side.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
The tick shot.
Oh, the famous tick shot.
One of the toughest shots in curling.
And just a reminder for those who may not be totally familiar with the rules, you can move rocks around in the area between the hog line and the rings with the first 3 stones of the end, but you can't remove them from play.
No. Take our shooter. Take our shooter. Right out, Heather. Right out. Hurry. Oh, great shot. Okay, come on.
Well, she moved the stone, and the shooter rolls into the 12-foot.
Well, she's opened up 3/4 of the 4-foot, which is a great shot. What Alberta will try to do here is keep that 4-foot open for Sandra or Cathy Borst's last rocks end.
I wish it was Sandra that was throwing that.
No kidding.
Thanks, Don.
Well, we've seen you do it so many times, Sandra, that we get hung up here.
Where are you?
No!
8 foot. Right here.
Go for line!
Right here. Right up. That's fine. Nice shot.
That just didn't move. I'm not quite sure if she pushed that out or if they've got that guard in a spot that doesn't move.
Every rock,
Roll
so
right
important.
Here. Okay. If you roll, this is fine too. Okay. Just control weight. Control weight. Yeah. Control weight, Katie. Okay. Straight up. No, off.
Oh, close.
Right off. Normal. It's up.
Oh, close.
Clean it.
Close. Whoa, 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 whoa. Roll it.
Whoa. Shot, Katie.
Alberta lies 2, and Alberta has last rock on this extra end.
Now that guard is
Halfway's
covering
good,
a
PJ.
corner of the 4-foot. And Merklinger has asked Patty McKnight to put another rock out in front, and what she's trying to do is make Alberta
Halfway.
waste some rocks at the
Easy,
first
not too
long
close.
guard and hoping that they
Where are
don't
ya?
make the double peel.
Halfway.
Whoa, we're long.
Whoa, Roddy.
Whoa, not yet.
I'm just cleaning a black spot.
Freezing?
The fans respond to the conversation between Frey and Merklinger.
Normal. Just off nose.
Black. Had to get it.
Boehmer with the chance to get rid of those 2 yellow stones now.
Yes! Yes! Whoa! Yes! Hurry! 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 Get over.
Well, she moves the 2 yellow stones, but leaves her own red rock sitting out front.
Well, not only that, it's moved over a little bit more, so it's covering more of the 4-foot.
You notice how Ann has changed turns here just
Yes.
because it moves more with the in-turn. She should be able to get totally buried. It just comes right off the hill like it has all game.
Patty McKnight trying to come from the outside in.
Close.
T-line.
Line's good. Wait only. Top 4. Top 4. Whoa. Room. Room. Lots of room. Where are you?
Back 4, back 8.
Whoa.
Back 4, back 8.
Whoa. Sit. Whoops. Sit.
Well, that never finished at all.
Yeah, I'm surprised with that. It just didn't, it has all week finished there. She might have just pushed that out or just caught a straight spot, but it has finished all week in that spot.
Pretty good judge of weight by the front end, though. Immediately she released it, they yelled T-line.
Yes. Well,
Play
that's
that.
front end's job.
Play it.
As soon as you let it go, they have to determine where it's going to end up. So the holder of the broom can make a decision on what she wants to do with it.
This is where Cathy has to make the decision.
Yep. She has to
Does she
either
mind drawing the 4-foot, or
Play
would
the
she
front one
rather
back on it.
play a run back
No, because then it'll probably pop over here.
or peel the guard?
I don't mind.
Okay, board.
Well, the danger rock is the guard. There's no question about it.
Board. Hey. Nip front, that's good.
I mean, the trouble with hitting this rock, it'll give Ann Merklinger a chance to get around it maybe better and in tighter to the guard. You never want to let the team have the same shot twice.
Oh.
Cleaning.
Clean.
Easy.
Forward. Clean.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yes. Quick. Quick. Hard. Right out, Katie. Right out.
Boy, she came so close to the guard and almost missed the stone on the inside.
Yes. She got on a different path, just a little bit tighter.
Perfect.
And the rock took off. That's what Ann Merklinger wants to do. She wants to get it. So the quiet wait, and it'll make that big move at the end.
Eight foot to tee.
Tighter line.
Same
Close
weight
to
as
line.
Patty's.
Room.
No.
Same weight.
Whoa, off.
Room.
No, tons of line, guys.
Should dig.
It's coming.
Whoa, no.
No, it should dig in the house.
No. Sit.
Dig.
Sit.
See, they're throwing weight exactly to that spot. They're not giving their brushers a chance. It's a little bit heavy, so they're not brushing it, and it's staying right there. It's not finishing for them.
Just the rock going down.
If we run it this way, we might be able to get that.
Okay.
Okay. Normal. No, wait.
Godberson is attempting the removal of her own guard.
Normal.
Yep.
Yes!
Hurry! 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 Right up! Hurry! Just about.
Take it.
So Ontario still lies one. And Ann Merklinger is calling for another center guard.
She wants this one a little bit closer to the center line, maybe covering the button as opposed to just the
Halfway's
forefoot.
good. Halfway to tight. Good dive.
She won't mind if this rock is very tight to the rings,
Mine's good.
because it'll
He's
give
halfway.
Alberta something to think about,
Clean
whether
it.
to run the guard or hit the rock that's in the back
Halfway,
of the
right
forefoot.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, guys.
Yep, right up, guys. All right, guys, right up. Right up, guys.
Hurry.
Right up. That's it. Nice shot.
Sorry, Audrey. Nice shots, Teresa.
Here's my
Good
rock.
spot.
It's skated down there, right?
I had good weight. A couple of rocks before it, I guess.
This is the thing I hated most about
rock
running
and
off
ground
guards.
like
You
Patty's
play
did.
the in turn the first time, and because the rock's a foot over, you out turn the second time.
Firmer.
I always like throwing the same turn twice.
No. Yep. No.
Yeah, clean.
Watch the.
Good shot by
Godberson's got a corner.
Good. That wasn't a nice delivery. Sorry,
Good job.
Joe.
Good job.
Well, Heather, it may not have been a nice delivery, but the result is
all you care
all
about.
that really is important.
Sorry. Ugly delivery. Huh? A little shaky on the delivery. Okay, you still got it. Yeah. What do you want to do if she hits this center line one? Peel it. Just puts one top floor and then.
Well, I think regardless of what happens, Cathy Borst is going to have to throw her last rock to win this championship.
And it might be a draw right to the forefoot.
Yes.
It's going to be a
Halfway to
tough shot
tight.
for her.
Tight's good.
Halfway.
Tight's good. Yep. Where?
Halfway to tight.
Yep, right up to halfway at least. Okay, that's good. Whoa, whoa, that's good. Whoa. That's good.
Nice shot, Ann.
Well, for Cathy Borst, if she wants to make her life easier here, she can maybe run the double.
One thing she doesn't want is a nose hit on that
No, sir.
stone.
Normal weight. What kind of weight? Normal.
The double peel is here for her, and if she can make that, that's a
three-quarters of
great
it.
shot and would pretty much guarantee her the game. I think it'd be a good call to try and run it now.
Yeah, she has to hit about a half a rock. She wants to hit a half a rock because she wants to spin her shooter out of there.
Just normal.
No, it's not. No.
No, just normal.
No.
Whoa.
She's got lots of weight. She
Clean.
certainly isn't going to get the
Whoa.
straight back, I'll tell you that.
Clean.
Whoa. Off ours. Shot.
Shot.
Well, she gets rid of the guard.
I stopped this. Okay.
And now all Ann Merklinger can do is try and cover the shot stone.
Shot, Cat. Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether I'd cover the shot stone or whether I'd put it biting
here,
the
guys.
4 foot right on the center line. She has an option. She could put it right here so that if Cathy Borst hit it, she wouldn't be shot. But she's elected to go over here, protect the one that she has on the back of the 4 foot, and force Cathy Borst to make a cold draw to win.
I just want to cover that.
But where do you want it in the rings?
Full 12's good, yep.
Is option short or?
No, we don't have an option. We got to make it perfect.
But 12.
That's a good comment by Ann. She doesn't have an option. She's got to make it perfect.
Full 12, guys.
Yeah. The reason she doesn't want it too tight in the 8 foot is it makes it an easier double for Cathy Borst, and she's got another shot biting the 8 foot.
Got a curl.
Tight.
Line's good. Whoa, let it break. Yep, line's good. Clean. Whoa, not too deep. Whoa, whoa, close. Yep. Yep.
Tight.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Whoa, whoa.
It's going too much.
Oh, it's over curling.
Well, it did over curl. Now that rock is partially open behind the tee line. Cathy Borst never hesitated for 1 second. She put the brush down. The other side of the center line is playing the cold draw.
It's the right call to draw the 4 foot on your last rock, regardless how much you can see of that, unless you can see the full thing. So she's made the right call, and now she just has to throw it. She's going to throw it right to the sweepers. It's the sweepers rock right now.
The outcome no longer in the hands of Ann Merklinger.
Is turnabout fair play? Do you remember the first round robin game? Ann Merklinger had a similar shot behind the 4 foot.
You mean the first playoff game?
First playoff game. Same shot in the extra end. Same situation.
This shot to win it for Cathy Borst.
Clean. Lots of
Whoa, no backing. Whoa.
Whoa. Oh. Off. 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 Off.
Gonna have to go.
Gotta be here. Come on. Come on.
She's close. But she's got it.
Cathy Borst with the final stone of the extra end comes through with a clutch shot. And Cathy Borst, along with Heather Godberson, Brenda Bomer, and Kate Horn, are the new queens of Canadian women's curling.
What a great shot. Taking the pressure on her shoulders and putting it right in the 4 foot.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You got it. Great shot. Oh, Rona. Oh, buddy. Congratulations. Oh, wonderful, Cathy. Wonderful shot.
They were the best ranked
Good game. Congratulations.
during a week of round-robin play.
Congratulations, Cathy.
And they now will be the Canadian standard bearers in the World Championships in Kamloops from April the 4th to the 12th.
CIBC's Fun Family has been called one of the best fun families in Canada. All my fund managers are performance-driven. I'll do what it takes to make our funds perform. That's my contribution.
Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
Have fun.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Medium coffee, please.
Sit.
Oh, and 6 donuts.
Now it's easy to pick up 6 donuts for just $3.50 at Tim Hortons.
Heel. Heel.
We call it the Donut 6-pack.
So how'd it go?
He's a little slow.
I got donuts. Seems quick enough.
The new Donut 6-pack. For just $3.50, it's easy to pick up.
Since the Hendrick Racing Team started using Quaker State, they finished 1-2 in the 96 Winston Cup standings. Finished 1-2-3 this year at Daytona. And they've won at Rockingham, Bristol, Martinsville, and Charlotte. Which makes you wonder, is it in their blood or in their engines? Quaker State, the quality the Hendrick Racing Team demands, the quality your car deserves. It started with a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
I think that an economic forecast is more than a number. It's how's the economy going to evolve and how that's going to impact you. Our forecast can really contribute to your retirement planning.
Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
The Scott Tournament of Hearts, live on CBC. Brought to you by Scott Paper's family of products.
Welcome back to the Agridome in Regina, where Cathy Borst and her Alberta rink has defeated the Merklinger team from Ontario 7-6 in 11 ends to win the Scott Tournament of Hearts. And now the presentation of the trophy is at hand. Would you please welcome Mr. Dave Erskine, the president of Scott Paper.
Well, Cathy and Team Alberta, congratulations on behalf of Scott and the CCA on winning the Scott Tournament of Hearts Championship and the trophy. Congratulations on being the new Team Canada. It was great work today, and it was a really exciting record you had. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Cathy. Congratulations.
Excellent.
Way to go. Fantastic. Great play. Way to go. You must be real proud of your team.
Hold this now? Yeah, baby!
There are your winners for 1998, Cathy Borst of Alberta. When we come back, we'll talk to the winning skip.
In the news, excitement is growing over the new brake technology announced by Midas. When tested on yellow cabs in San Francisco, these new carbon metallic brake pads lasted 29% longer than ordinary brake pads. Cab owners are delighted. Since they'll be spending less on brake repairs, they can now afford to spruce up their fleets.
New performance friction carbon metallic brake pads, now at Midas.
Hey, where to? I'll just check my notebook. Stop! Follow that notebook! I'm not worried. Stop that cab! I can get it! Thank you.
Man, that thing's really taking a beating, huh?
No! No! My notebook!
Toshiba Notebook Computers. Tough enough for today's world.
Ancient philosophy made sense of the world by saying that all it is earth, air, fire, and water. And, of course, there's solid agronomic information. Total service is a way of helping farmers make sense of their world. It means we listen, we learn. Then we offer solutions for your farm. Total service from Dow AgriSciences.
Yes, it's boredom twitch syndrome. You're lucky. There's a new treatment.
Got boredom twitch syndrome? Get relief with Star Choice Digital Satellite Television. Over 90 channels of sports, movies, and entertainment, all with cinema quality picture and CD quality sound.
Hey! It's the Ottawa game! Thank you.
For a retailer in your community, call now. Finally, the choice is yours. Star Choice.
Welcome back to the Agridome in Regina, and there is the look of a champion. Cathy Borst defeats Merklinger 7-6 in an extra win to claim the 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts. I think you're still a little bit nervous standing up here.
Oh, you don't know how happy I am. Oh, I'm so excited.
17 years, you were telling me during the commercial break in the making. Here's another milestone for you. The first Alberta rink to win this title since 1981.
Oh, that's just a thrill for Alberta. I'm glad we're bringing it home, Alberta.
Cathy, tell us about the match. Merklinger gave you a tough struggle, coming back with a deuce in 10 to force the extra end.
Actually, I was worried that she was even going to get 3 on us the way things were working out, but thank the Lord that it worked out, that they only got their deuce and that we could have hammer going in 11, because it was real scary, and I knew all along that 3 up on Anne is not enough.
Now, you've got to tell us what was going through your mind. I know Sandra and I were both sitting over there with sweaty palms as you picked up your last rock in 11.
Just make sure I don't overthrow it, because the sweepers I've got real strong sweepers, and I just wanted them to be able to sweep it there and just don't overthrow it. That's all I could think about.
Well, Cathy, you were the class of this tournament, 10-1 through the round robin. You came right into Sandra Schmirler country here in Regina to succeed a great champion.
Yeah, that was a tough country here, and you fans are just great here. We all love you, and thanks for supporting all the teams this week.
Cathy Borst, ladies and gentlemen, 3 times lucky and better than lucky, really good, winning her first title here at the Scott after 3 attempts. Congratulations.
Thank you very much from all of us.
All right. Cathy Borst defeating Merklinger by a score of 7-6 in an extra end to win the Scott Tournament of Hearts this afternoon here in Regina.
Since 1982, Scott's Paper has been the proud sponsor of the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
That's right, Gavin. Scott Towels has been there for the spills of victory.
And Scotties was there for the disappointments of defeat. Oh, that was a tough loss.
Here's Sandra Schmirler and the Scott product team practicing their winning form.
What great action! That Scott team really delivers.
That was great. As always, the Scott Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by this family of fine Scott paper products.
Yes, it's boredom twitch syndrome. You're lucky. There's a new treatment.
Got boredom twitch syndrome? Get relief with Star Choice Digital Satellite Television. Over 90 channels of sports, movies, and entertainment, all with cinema quality picture and CD quality sound.
Hey! It's the Ottawa game! Thank you.
For a retailer in your community, call now. Finally, the choice is yours. Star Choice.
Another Nokia discovery. Small words are hard to read, which is why at Nokia, we make wireless phones with screens that are big, so they're easier to read. Inspired technology with a human touch. Nokia. Connecting people.
Well, if I had money, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or two. I'm crazy about a Ford truck. Lord, I'm crazy about a Ford truck. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road.
last 2 years, Canada's best-selling trucks have been Ford trucks.
Where can you see celebrity hosts?
I'm having such a blast.
See big music acts like Prairie Oyster, Great Big Sea, Jack Soul, the cast of Rent. Go behind the scenes. Everything you want and more. The 9 o'clock show premieres Wednesday. What? Twitch City is a real hoot, the Winnipeg Sun. The coolest Canadian sitcom ever, broadcast week. For viewers with a thirst for something different, McLean's. The hit series, Twitch City, Monday.
Welcome back to Regina, Saskatchewan, and the post-game ceremonies continue here at the Agridome, where Cathy Borst has defeated Ann Merklinger 7-6 in 11 ends. And joining me now, the runner-up, Ann, valiant in the attempt today. I know this was your third attempt to win this trophy, and it must be very difficult for you now, but congratulations on such a well-played match.
Well, thanks very much, Mark. Cathy's team came up big in the final. They had a wonderful second half, as did we. We gave it our best, and we really wish Cathy and your teammates all the best at the World Championships in Kamloops.
You know, it looked so bleak in the 7th, then you came up with the steal, then the deuce and 10 to force the extra end. What a comeback.
Well, we usually play a better second half than we do a first half, and we proved that today. But Cathy made a great job with their last one to win the game, and we gave it our best effort.
We talked at the 5th end break about how aggressively you played this match. If you had one shot to do all over again, what would it be?
Well, perhaps the draw for 2 in the 4th end ended up being a big shot, but we really gave it a great second half, and perhaps also my last shot in the 10th end, if it had just finished a tiny bit more, perhaps we could have, scored 3 in the 10th.
Well, and I know you're getting closer. You've been to the semis, now you're to the finals, and you've kept this rink together for 6 years now. What does the future hold for you?
Well, I love playing with these guys. They're great players. We're great friends. So hopefully we'll stick it out and maybe one day be on the podium.
All right, Ann, good job. Ann Merklinger, ladies and gentlemen, courageous in the effort today, losing by just 1 in the final to Cathy Borst. Now let's go upstairs and join Don and Don.
Yes, disappointment for Ann Merklinger. She has come close in the past. But for Cathy Borst, this will erase some bitter memories from 1995 in Calgary when she lost the last rock decision to Connie Laliberty of Manitoba.
Well, it really will, You have to hang in there and keep on trying. I thought Cathy Borst played beautifully all week. She beat Ann Merklinger 3 times, Don, and what more can you say about that?
Well, she has definitely established her superiority over Ann Merklinger. 3 victories, 1 in the round robin, the first playoff game in the Page system, and in this championship game. And with a 10-1 record during round robin play and 2 playoff wins, I don't think there's much doubt that the best rink this week is going to the Worlds.
Oh, there's no question about it. And when Cathy had to make the big shot, she did, and she made it in the extra end there. That was a tough shot for her. She threw you a take out with her first one, then to come back with a nice tap back like that, that's great.
So we're the representatives for Canada in the upcoming World Championships in Kamloops. Last year, Alberta had the men's champion at the World's competition. This year, it's the Canadian women's champion going to the World competition in Kamloops in April. Mark?
Well, Don, what more can you ask for in a championship game here at the Scott Tournament of Hearts, going to extra ends? And Cathy Borst is 3 times lucky in her 3rd attempt, finally winning the Scott title with a 7-6 win over a valiant Ann Merklinger of Ontario in 11 ends. And we will have an encore presentation of today's exciting final coming up late tonight on CBC. We ask you to check your local listings. Next up in championship curling, it is the Brier from Winnipeg beginning next Saturday, and we invite you to watch the round robin on TSN. For CBC, we're back in 2 weeks' time on March 14th for the semifinal of the Labatt Brier beginning at 2:30 Eastern. And then on Sunday the 15th, it is the Labatt Brier final at 1:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central from Winnipeg, Manitoba. What a day for Cathy Borst. She wins 7-6 over Ann Merklinger in an 11th end as the Scot crowns a new champion before record crowds in Regina. Thanks for watching, and so long from the Great Plains.